What? 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 Why can't you?
Tell me about it. So,
Why can't you?
Democrats are revved up.
Stupid! Stupido! Why can't you? Why can't you? I did this. Why
He's
can't
looking
you?
down the end of his little nose.
Democrats are revved up.
Oh, yeah.
Democrats are revved up.
He's did the slap and everything.
They're fucking jacked.
Democrats are revved up.
That dude does a bump of cocaine before he does every telecast.
I saw him on one of the panel shows, and I was just like, oh, where's your board there, big boy? What are we doing right now? And he was, but what the Democrats really don't understand is that they have to get ready for the midterms. Like, he's very roller coastery, which can be fun.
Well, let's start by saying hi to the peoples. Do you want the peoples or do you want the buttons?
Give me the buttons.
All right. Let's start at the top here. We got Billy.
In the hell?
Oh, wait a minute. Where's my button? Damn it. All the buttons have moved. Bikini.
Fettuccine, linguine, martini, bikini.
Scott.
I'm full, but I can't pass up this great opportunity.
Well, how much?
Great opportunity for us to shill the merch. We
Look
have a
at that.
satisfied customer right there. Lost Missionary.
Lost Missionary says, received a fuck the hell off t-shirt this morning. Was pleased with the quality.
A what
Decent
shirt?
weight.
Fuck the hell off.
Fuck the hell off. Decent weight and quality cloth was unexpected and appreciated. Only 6 days since order. International delivery as well. So for anyone
Damn.
who was worried about the international delivery, T-Public does do that.
Keep that.
And
shirt.
I will boost the shirts in a bit. Chris C.
Pathetic. They are effing pathetic.
Rudy.
McKinnon.
Flip.
McKinnon wants to know if Scott's shirt, if the blood magic worked.
You have no decency. You have no honor.
Oh, and McKinnon, you might want to stick around. I have a very special surprise for you coming up in a little bit.
tell me about it. So,
Gina.
Stupido.
Cortez.
Wait, Congress.
boring, Huey.
Diz.
In my time,
Congress,
you don't get to talk.
lumber is at a
Reclaiming
5-year
my
low.
time.
Congress.
Reclaiming my time.
You don't get to
Let's
talk.
just have
You don't get to talk. Adams. I think scrolling all the way to the chat got very long before we started. Yeah, I think that's everybody. Oh, we Shaza.
I'm talking to you.
That lady rizzed him up. That shit was so funny.
I'm talking to you like me.
That's one of my favorite scenes in Hook when they're like on the ship and Captain Hook's there with Shmi, and then they're like looking out at the pirates like, you didn't believe in me. And it's Glenn Close. If you guys go back and watch that, it's Glenn Close and another pirate guy, and they both like simultaneously go. It is so funny.
Lil of all trades.
Yo,
Goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that.
yeah, explain that.
Shouted
Smart.
Mikey.
Explain that, Smarty Pants. I see one more.
So
One more. Allie is here.
Allie.
I love Tesla.
Like when we had the Tesla spring sales event on the White House lawn. Buy your used fucking electric vehicles from the symbol of freedom. Just buy them right here on the lawn. We got a wacky waving inflatable arm tube man and everything. He's red, white, and blue. He looks like Uncle Sam.
Listen, these Teslas, they're all computer.
This message brought to you by our friends at
I love Tesla.
Buy One Today.
Buy a Tesla. They're all computer.
I think the audio was bad, but I wanted to put that on the soundboard too. You want me to rev it up? Stupid ass. Stupid ass.
Where do you put the key? Isn't there supposed to be a key?
God.
Anyway, speaking of stuff you should buy, hey, we have merch.
The windows are electric?
You mean you don't have to roll them down?
Now I'm just picturing him just thinking every single feature of the car was just like the craziest. Holy cup holders. You could put a whole Diet Coke in there.
Where do I put my 8 tracks?
Yeah, I would have put a record in here.
Okay. So yeah, we got merch and all that. So we have 5 designs up on TeePublic, and we also have, hold please. A QR code that you can scan right now to get to the store.
We have 2 super chats.
Oh, we have 2 super chats. Wow.
2 super chats.
First one's from Allie. $2. She's funding the Civics show early. Don't worry, we'll get to those amendments. And the Dark Lord Greg.
The free speech advocates.
No, Greg, why? two American dollars. The bin is weak on crime.
Yeah, you know what? This Pope hasn't done a single what was it? Crusade. Not a single crusade out of this Pope. He must be weak on crime. Like, what the fuck do you want the Pope to? How is the Pope weak on crime? He's like, yo, don't crack people over the skull with a baton when they're protesting. He's like, weak on crime, Pope.
I believe by definition, the Pope is anti-crime.
I think crime is a sin. So yeah, I think that's like the opposite of like the back.
We have
Trump,
a whole
on the other hand.
They have a whole list of things you're not supposed to do.
We should really just get out like a dry erase board and just do like Trump, line down the middle, Pope, pros and cons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we should just literally just look at, people's history. Like some people went to Peru, some people went to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. Just compare, height and weight like a boxing match. Yeah, that's like the fight card. We should do a fight card for the Pope
a tail
Trump.
of the tape sort of thing.
Who's got more reach? Oh, yeah, Trump's got him on reach, but also this guy, not a convicted felon 34 times over.
Also, the Pope's probably got like 20 years on him. Like Trump is old. New Pope is still new.
Yeah, this is fresh. This is fresh Pope. This is a fresh 70.
Also,
what you know about that fresh 70?
I mean, you're going to get a whole Chicago versus New York vibe then also.
New York has never won at this smoke.
Ooh, man.
Oh my goodness.
10 gifted bin network memberships. Mikey's going to look it up right now, and I'll hit the buttons as he finds the people's. We got a lot of love coming in today.
My head. I was listening to myself and I hated it.
Oh my God. I never watch the show back
Alistair.
because I hate listening to myself.
Amazing as always. Thank you so much.
I've never had my flabbers so gasted.
I'm going through it right now, so that's you have no idea. Lil of all trades. Are you going? Okay.
He had all kinds of Iranian
Suzanne Casey.
Baby.
Gulf Foxtrot Lima.
In my time. Thank you.
Robert X.
Overspilt meek.
Hillbilly in the Asia.
You cry, you're making me cry. Life's hard enough as it is. You don't want to cry anymore.
Peace, mama.
And the enemy is the oligarchy.
Bolskov.
He'd come, maybe he wouldn't even come. I think maybe he wouldn't even come. You'd save your time.
Oh my god, Miss Rachel.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Miss Rachel. Oh, Samus from Metroid.
I did this. Why can't you?
And of course, Spooky Bed Hair. Welcome and thank you again to our.
Go! Freeze, sir! Freeze!
Sorry, that one was late.
If the Ben had a pope, it would be Viper Scott.
Yes, indeed.
You didn't miss much. I just read the names of all the lucky
Yes.
Binsiders.
Wishaza has just ordered himself a red Tim's hat. I love it. I love the meta. You too can get yourself a Tim's hat or a Tim's hat t-shirt. Okay, let's see what the hat looks like again. Bam. You can get it in red. So this is the one that Wishaza is getting.
Oh, dude, you know what we do? We need a MAGA ripoff.
Oh, the image is broken. All right, well, you can't get it in red, I guess. There we go. Tim's hat.
We need a MAGA hat ripoff.
We do. I mean, this is pretty close. I'll be honest with you.
We need white letters. 4 white letters.
Yes. Someone type that to McKinnon.
I gotta think of what would be on there. Just bin.
Right. No, yes, just in big white letters, BIN.
Just bin.
You can also get yourself a Tim's Hat hoodie.
Make garbage trash again.
Make garbage trash again. But I'll always plug this. All these designs were designed by McKinnon, who did some of these on the fly while we were doing an episode. I don't know.
I shudder to think.
Scott might know. Scott got international shipping.
International.
For instance, the For Jesus Get in the Van. It's McKinnon literally did that right after we made the joke about it while we were on a show. So some of this is yes. I agree. All right, I will stop shilling t-shirts now.
Oh, hi, Ari.
We do have a question to answer first. I started. Where are you? Chrissy wants to know, before we proceed with the show, that Chrissy has a question. It's being reported Kamala Harris is thinking of running for president in 2028. What are your thoughts? And will it harm the Dems?
If she runs for fucking president and she gets the fucking Democratic nomination, I'm moving to fucking Canada. Yeah, I am not putting up with this shit ever again. They are a bunch of thieving, lying crooks. Fuck them. The DNC has got to go. It's got to get purged. One of the two. I trust 0 people in that fucking establishment right now.
Yeah, I don't think the DNC should go anywhere near Kamala Harris, at least for 2028. Like, maybe if they want to revisit something later down the road, because Kamala Harris is still fairly young, presidential wise.
Yeah.
And I think that there are other better options out there. Even within moderate Democrats, there's other better options out there. Other better female options, to be honest.
Like if they're not thinking like an AOC Crockett, like they need a bold, audacious, young ticket.
Yeah.
To counter this bullshit that they're doing right now.
They need the opposite of what we have right now. The total opposite. Young, minority women on a ticket. Instead of old white guys, because old white guys have gotten us into some real shit.
Especially we got to have the primaries first. I think everybody should be unimpeded in the primaries, but the DNC is already cooking the books. Gina.
Gina's been a member for 7 months.
Revved up.
Gina's revved up. Gina's revved up.
We're revved up.
Like they need to have like a fully untampered with primary. Listen to whoever's talking, look at what kind of crowds they're drawing, and adjust and mold themselves accordingly. But this whole, we'll just let Trump be worse than what we were, and then we'll offer you the same shit from fucking 2016. No.
Honestly, it really depends on how the midterms play out. If the Republicans get absolutely devastated in Congress,
they're not going to do anything.
Then it is open season on Democratic primary candidates. It is, put 20 of them in there.
Yeah.
Fill up the room.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah. See who you can get.
Because we might get surprised.
Now, obviously, it's not going to be Eric Swalwell anymore, because that guy is in some big trouble for sexually assaulting people. But there's
Hegseth Jr.
Right. There are a multitude of progressive candidates out there that are attracting people who want to vote for them and who want progressive ideas. And I think that it would behoove the DNC to open up the process a bit, get rid of this superdelegate bullshit.
Yeah.
And just have a fair, like, the Republicans have a more fair primary than the Democrats do, and that's fucking wild.
And they talk shit about each other, but the DNC will just eviscerate people on their own side.
Yeah.
Even if they're 100% the same, like if the Venn diagram is just a circle on how they vote with the party's ideals, they're in lockstep, but they just don't want you there anymore. So they just turn you into a villain and throw you out and then make sure you never have a career again. It's like, man, if only we had Al Franken in the Senate.
Right.
But we had to let and what was that, like a groping picture thing? Okay. I mean, it happened already. We got work to do here. Because the purity test and the purity culture shit, look at the right. They don't give a fuck. They are letting literal Nazis run around the fucking White House with fucking a nose full of ketamine, just destroying our fucking public infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay, so is the picture that bad, so bad that we need to let this shit happen? No, absolutely not.
2 British pounds from Allie, who's already given way too much money to us today. North Ireland fuel protests, England fuel protests, 2 p.m. UK time.
So it already started.
Yeah. I was keeping up on, we covered a story last week about the Irish Republic fuel protests. That continues, I believe. There were supposed to be negotiations with the government, and I think they had talks, but no real resolution was had, so the protest continues. And the Irish police are very much more subdued than American police, because they got into some scuffles and no one's dead.
They were out there fighting.
But anyway, America, this is what's going on right now.
The President of the United States is in a lot of trouble for fighting with the Pope and comparing himself to Jesus. This is the actual news tonight, and it is...
When in American history has an American president ever gotten into an argument with the Pope and on the same day posted a picture of him as Jesus?
Remember when John Lennon said the Beatles were bigger than Jesus? Which, I mean, he wasn't wrong. You know, they were more popular. More people going to his concerts on a Sunday than into a church. That's fair. Boy, did everybody get pissed off. And that was the 70s?
Yeah. Now Trump's out there telling the Pope he's weak on crime and then posting a picture of himself as Jesus healing what looks a lot like Epstein.
Oh, is that what you think?
I think Jon Stewart said that that the dude he was healing looked like him, but he also kind of looks like Epstein. I mean, I guess it's generic old white guy, but
maybe
he does look a little like Jeffrey Epstein. Anyway, we'll see the picture in a second. I'm
I was
sure.
about to say, I'm sure it'll come up.
One debate or controversy that's affecting Donald Trump at home and abroad. Feuding with the Pope is not popular. Trump going after Pope Leo online because the Pope had called for peace, which quite frankly is a very Pope thing to do.
Trump attacks the Pope for Iran war immigration agenda criticism. Trump unleashes tirade against weak and terrible Pope Leo. This dude is the first American-born Pope. He's from Chicago. He doesn't take shit from anybody.
Trump knew that. Don't act like he didn't know that. Of course he. Yeah, I knew he was the first one from America.
He had no idea.
Why doesn't he speak English? He's like,
I'm pretty sure
he's very
pretty
confused
sure-
about all this new stuff.
Pretty sure the only thing he remembers about the Pope is that J.D. Vance killed the last one.
J.D. Vance has a track record of just being the wet fart in every room.
We're going to talk about J.D. Vance a little bit too, and how he is. Don't send J.D. Vance to other countries. He only does terribly.
Wet fart.
And that was seen as a rebuke of Trump's choice to attack Iran. Moments later, he posted an AI-generated image that you see right here. We don't often...
Oh my God, it does look like Epstein.
Right?
Enhance. Yo, low key. I just miss him so much. Fucking weird bitch. Ew, dude. And what the fuck is that up in the top? Like, I was looking at, is that one of them angels? Like the correct angels with like the 3,000 eyes and the billion wings?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like the news media keeps calling that person, that figure, a demon, but I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be like some sort of biblical angel.
Yeah, that's like the biblically accurate angel depiction. It's terrifying.
It's nightmare fuel.
It's just a ball of feathers with eyes out of them.
And John Stewart pointed this out. I would like to draw your attention to just the random hands on the bottom of this fucking
whose
screen
hands
here.
is that?
It's just hands, man. Just
that-
this, because it's fucking AI.
It's fucking Shigaraki from fucking My Hero. Put the hand on the face, got the hands doing this. Start scratching.
So I think we're going to hear this in a bit, but Trump claims this is not him as Jesus, but him as a doctor, using his doctor magic to heal Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, that's what all doctors do at the med
Yeah.
pods.
Yeah.
Or med bays.
That's how doctors dress, right? Robes.
They light the candles. They do the Kamehameha.
And it looks like he's casting Cure Light Wounds there. So,
He's clearly a cleric of the patriotic order.
If Trump was a cleric in the D&D pantheon, which deity would be Trump's deity?
Olgoth or one of the fucking old ones.
Like Obadhai or some shit.
Yeah. Of
Nerul.
the deep.
Like Trump's deity would definitely be Nerul. Nerul's the god of death and magic. There you go. That's Trump. There you go.
It can only good magic.
It can only good magic.
Things that Trump posts on True Social, but I want to make sure you see this with your own eyes so you can make sense of it. There are all these sort of AI propaganda visuals that go
Working
out.
on it,
and
Diz.
People
We're
have
ordering
different
some
views
shirts.
about their role or efficacy, but from a religious viewpoint, this was deeply offensive to many people in our country and around the world. This is what, to many Christians, is seen as total blasphemy. Donald Trump posted it. Obviously, he had his own reasons for that, but we've seen a lot of prominent individuals, including MAGA,
that
describe
God will not be mocked is from Nancy Mace.
Nancy Mace said that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh boy. There are some prominent Republicans who are like, I think they got like Tim Tillis to be like, or Tom Tillis. God, he can't be a Tim. Tom Tillis in like in an elevator, and he was like trapped there, so he was answering questions, and he's like, yeah, Trump shouldn't do those things, and it's blasphemous and all that. Like, they're really cornering Republicans on this, and they're like, you love Jesus, what about what Trump did? And they're all like, it was bad.
When he was stepping on Muslims, it was fine, but then he went straight to Catholics, and they're like, God damn it, shut up, dude.
More super chat from Allie. Allie, stop giving us money, please.
Stupido.
Mikey Tim, send him to the UK and say and support the union because of his track record that would mean independence for Scotland.
I'm with it.
I'm down with it.
Thank you so much. Let me do
Thank you,
this,
Ali, so much for all the
Wait till
super
I
chats and
come.
the memberships.
Oh, gross. Oh,
Love how fucking square it is.
I have never loved anything as much as Garen loves watching food.
Spearland says it's clear Trump is wielding cure light COVID.
Isn't that how he said you got to cure it? You got to get the light into your bloodstream.
You gotta inject bleach into your veins. I
There you
believe.
go. And then sun
Or
your
you-
butthole.
Yeah, they were like, he was like, introduce light to the inside of your body, and it's like, dude, how the fuck do you think we're gonna do that?
Sun your butthole.
I'm sure that's an RFK thing.
What else could he have been talking about? He's fucking weird and old, man. He was talking about butt sunning. That's what he was. That's what he wants everybody to do.
Listen, I am sure that at some point the Secretary of Health and Human Services will come out and say that butt sunning is a good idea.
If he hasn't already. Let me just say, I'm just saying, as soon as the sun comes up in DC, everybody shuts their blinds. That's all I can say.
This is reprehensible, saying it's blasphemy, that faith is no prop, that it crosses the line. One longtime Trump ally posting, God will not be mocked online. And as I mentioned earlier in our coverage, we hear a lot of things from Trump and his allies that aren't really true. They just continue this sort of...
Is it me, or does Ari seem particularly annoyed by this entire thing?
He's been on a burner. He's been not happy for a while.
Yeah, he looks like he's a little bit exhausted by all of this.
Perturbed.
And one of them, I'm sure you've heard a lot as well, he doesn't back down, he doesn't apologize. That's not true. He backs down when he is attacked or confronted in a consistent way, and especially by other people who don't back down. Some liken that to the approach you need for bullies. And so while Trump has been all over the place on these issues, I mentioned his Praise Allah post as well, he deleted this post. He might not want you to know that, but we showed you the post. It's no longer on Truth Social. He deleted it. Then later, facing the cameras, he went after the Pope again.
I'm not a big fan of Pope Leo. He's a man that doesn't think that we should be toying with a country that wants a nuclear weapon so they can blow up the world. I'm not a fan of Pope Leo.
That is just
And
so
that brings us to, again, a strange chapter in a...
He just says shit.
He does. And this is like in the middle of the night, getting off an airplane. Trump has fucking dementia already. So this is like peak sundown time for him. So he's just going to rant about whatever.
They were about to blow up the moon, but I just landed there to save it. It's like, that didn't happen, dude. Everyone tells me it's happening. I don't know what this guy, like, no one liked Joe Biden, and no one pretended like this dude was like the most, like, some people were like capping like that. But pretty much everyone was like, oh my God, grandpa, just shut up, dude. Just be still before you hurt yourself.
And then, you know,
and look at this shit.
When it came out that Joe Biden wasn't doing too great and his mental health had declined and his administration was covering it up, because they were.
Yep.
You know, we all said, well, that's bad. We shouldn't do that. Can you imagine years from now, maybe even 1 or 2 years from now, I think is the shortest term that this will come out, when we all find out how badly Trump, his mental health is, and how badly it's being covered up, and how much of it is being covered up. Because it's obviously like it's uncover-upable now. We can all see it in plain daylight. That praise be to Allah post was clear dementia, and so is his Jesus picture.
They're gonna have to get his phone away from him at some point.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if they were covering up in the first year that Trump has had severe mental decline, they can no longer cover it up because it's just spilling out into the public.
I mean, he's and the thing is, he has no ability to like independently criticize ideas that are brought to him. Anytime somebody brings something to him, he agrees with it.
Yeah,
That's
well, I mean,
dangerous.
and I think that's his first administration had to do an amount of cover up of that too, because everybody knew the last person to talk to Trump was the person that he fucking remembered and the person he agreed with. So that's why Fox primetime cable hosts would tell Trump things directly during their shows, saying, "Hey, Mr. President, maybe you should do this," and then the next morning he fucking did it.
Right.
Because
the dude doesn't BB comes to spend the weekend, and now we're fucking blowing up everything, and it's like, and having his fucking son-in-law and his real estate buddy be the negotiators with Iran is crazy, and then sending JD Vance is even crazy. Like, he can't do it. He should be able to get on the phone to someone in Pakistan, and someone from Iran gets on the phone with the people in Pakistan, and they talk it out. He can't do it anymore.
No, he can't.
He ain't got the horsepower for it. And he's just trying to just blow them up so that they quit, so I don't have to talk to him. He can't negotiate shit.
No, and JD Vance certainly can't negotiate shit either.
That's why they didn't.
Different reasons.
Because if he's this great negotiator, he would have won himself.
Yeah.
He would have fucking said, "Oh, they're not gonna fucking touch me. Watch this shit." Fucking fly his fucking brand new Qatari jet straight to fucking Iran, land that bitch, and then start. Like, if he was this great fucking negotiator like they claim him to be, he would be big dick swinging, fucking bust open the door, walk in, sit down at the guy's desk, and say, "This is how it's gonna work." But that's not what's happening at all. He's sending hitmen to take out the fucking negotiators. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're wiping out the people in charge because we don't want to deal with them. It's not negotiating. There's another word for it.
Christy says, seriously, how bad is it going to have to get in America before Americans start taking up arms and marching on the White House?
That won't fix it.
Nah, that won't fix it. Unfortunately.
Because he's breaking our trade.
He's breaking everything.
Yeah. Eroding the laws, it's like a acid just burning through the country.
Yeah, he is literally just dismantling all of our institutions one by one.
Xenomorph spit.
And that brings us to, again, a strange chapter in a region where the United States has all sorts of religious sensitivities, and
hold on, Tim.
Past presidents have made.
America since 1776 says, "I guess you mental giants can negotiate with terrorists better than a billionaire."
Yeah.
Well, America since 1776, it's real easy when the other side completely capitulates to every single one of your demands, and all you have to do is say yes.
Also, I think that at this point, both Mikey and I have much greater mental faculties than the president.
They literally agreed to everything America asked for, and we kept blowing the people that were sending I agree with you up.
Yeah.
It's documented.
And in this latest round of negotiation with JD Vance, who talked to them for 16 hours total, they said, "Oh, we'll give up any sort of nuclear anything for at least 5 years." And
they're not even storing it on site. They said they'd store it in another country.
And the American negotiating team, which was JD Vance, Jared Kushner, and Steve Witkoff, said, "Well, 20 years." Like, they kept moving the goalpost during negotiations.
Right.
So look at this. We name our 5. We're not negotiating with Iran. Neither is Trump, by the way. He sent fucking JD Vance.
there already was a plan, and he was going to get past what the JCPOA fucking said. And he said no for no reason. He had the agreement. He bombed anyway. That's what you're misunderstanding. I don't have to make a whole new 5-point plan. They already had a 16-point plan that they agreed to. So I would use that.
Do we
That's
have
what they
to
agree
play?
with. They're not going to do it now.
Do we have to play the clip with the negotiator from Oman again? Because
Right.
like literally the day before we started a war in their country, we were in negotiations with Iran through, it was like trilateral negotiations, and the negotiator from Oman was like, I think we got a deal here.
And then the
Iran was
next
gonna
day was the 28th,
Iran was
and they
going to
started-
give
Yeah,
Iran was going to give Trump everything he wanted and then some. Better than Obama got. Better than any deal they've ever struck with anyone with regards to nuclear war or nuclear weapons. And the next day, we started bombing them, saying they were negotiating in bad faith.
Right.
So, I think America, you need to get your fucking facts straight.
Chrissy asks, hey, America, so is it perfectly acceptable for Israel to have nuclear weapons, but no one else in the region are allowed to have them?
Well, except for Pakistan.
Are they in the region, or are they more close to like South Asia?
I guess they're more close to South Asia, but I don't think Israel and Pakistan have the greatest of relationships.
I don't know if Pakistan considers itself in the Middle East or in Asia.
I think they're on the border there.
Yeah, they might be the border.
I mean, they have nuclear weapons because
they snuck and did it anyway.
Because they snuck and did it anyway. We didn't know they had nuclear weapons until they had nuclear weapons. So, you know, there's that.
Oh, please, any yes to Israel. So you think Israel is okay to have nukes and no one else in the region? Okay, well then
it's because Israel is an ally, so that they're an ally. It's because Israel is an ally. So only our allies can have nuclear weapons.
Okay.
In that case, why did we let North Korea have nuclear weapons?
I mean, so go get them, right? They have nukes. We're going to put boots on the ground, right?
Pakistan is subject to the British crown.
Yeah, I think they disagree with that.
You might want to ask the Pakistanis about that one. Hilarious.
Interesting.
Point to try to be respectful and serious about all of the different world religions that are involved in the Middle East. Indeed, when you have a war that's being waged right now that involves Iran, Israel, and a lot of other parties affected, you are dealing with all the monotheistic religions. You are dealing with Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. And so for the United States, it is a net negative to be seen as mocking or playing with the idea of Allah, which the president did during this war on Easter Sunday, or attacking the Pope, which doesn't fit into any discernible strategy other than perhaps, as mentioned, a kind of erratic anger that the president can't withhold. Here was Pope.
America, here's some Brits who might think that that's ridiculous.
Hi, Richard. I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. Like, what do you do with people like this? You know what I mean?
I don't know. This person's in a fucking bubble, man.
You know, Israel has never confessed to having nukes, right? They've never publicly said they have nukes, but everybody knows they have nukes. So,
you know.
Leo's response.
Blessed are the peacemakers. I do not look at my role as being political politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak up about this. I have no fear
with Shakira a lot.
Speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel.
All right, we're gonna close caption that because
yeah, I mean the plane's freaking on.
Couldn't hear a goddamn thing he was saying.
Got the afterburners going.
blessed are the peacemakers. I do not look at my role as being a politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loudly.
I have no fear of neither the Trump administration nor speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel.
So the Pope said, "Come at me, bro."
She was like, I got dual citizenship, bitch. My passport says U.S. Vatican.
For anyone who didn't hear it, he said that aside from he doesn't fear Trump or the administration, he doesn't like people misconstruing the Bible, as some do. I assume he means you evangelical Christians, you crazy fucks.
No, he's just, sometimes people, get the context wrong. He's just talking about like, little granular stuff. He wasn't talking about Trump.
No. He was
dressing up like
about
Jesus with AI,
He was talking about Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
And Pete Hegseth's entire faith.
And then the angels of heaven came down with fire swords and did a cleaving attack.
Oh boy. I do like the argument going on in the chat between Merca and the various UK citizens who are like, what are you talking about? Here we go. Chrissy says, Merca, I am British, and just because the country is part of the Commonwealth doesn't mean that they are subject to the British crown. They dropped the monarchy in 1956. I believe Canada is also part of the Commonwealth still.
And before you say you didn't say that, yes, you did.
We got receipts on this show.
Oops.
On the home front, Trump has also seen his support from America.
That's a mistimed comment there.
Man, we just leave the rakes out there in the yard, and you guys find every single one of them. Rake detected.
Here. Chrissy says, excuse me while I educate this stupid troll about the Commonwealth.
Yeah, dude, more than like 40% of our audience is in the UK. So, wow.
Yeah, ouch. Just stepping on rakes over there, bud.
Stupido.
Really sideshow bobbing it up over there.
When Catholics fall, remember, they voted for him by a 20-point margin as recently as 2024, but there's slippage there. If you take white voters who didn't attend college,
Catholics for real,
which has been a MAGA voting bloc, well, Trump has fallen about 40 points.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Yo,
White
every one of
voters who
these
didn't
polls
attend
is
college,
crazy.
Which has been a MAGA voting bloc.
Damn.
Well, Trump has fallen about 40.
Trump approval collapse among non-college white voters in February last year, plus 36. Now he's -4.
Oh boy. That's way outside the margin of error, by the way, which is plus or minus 2.5.
Sheesh.
You can't even be like, well, polling, it's really plus or minus 10.
I mean, but we've been saying this since Inauguration Day. He has to fulfill some of his huge promises or they will turn on him.
Yeah.
They want stuff. If you don't have stuff and all you have is more fucking promises, that will only work for a little while. Even all this red meat, all the red meat that you're giving to the base with like this fucking immigration shit, where you're just keeping them excited about being patriotic and thinking that they're saving people when they're just brutalizing immigrants for no reason. They can ignore that because, man, it's getting so good. But man, them gas prices. And man, we got 2 data centers in the county, and my electricity bill is kind of getting a little out of, and the rent is just getting too. He will never address these needs for these people, and that will cause them to turn on him.
You can even go as far as, well, $100 doesn't go as far as it used to at the grocery store.
isn't it since 2020? It's like the dollar's down, like $100 bills worth like $80, and it's like,
yeah.
How did y'all do this so quickly, so poorly? Like, holy shit!
I think the disconnect here is that Trump said that he was going to bring down prices on day one, and
groceries, eggs,
yeah, all that stuff,
gas,
and he only referred to a few specific things like gas and eggs or whatever. But like, that's not all people fucking buy. And even then, yeah, the price of eggs is down from its peak of like being $8 or $10 for a dozen. Now it's like $4 or $5 for a dozen.
And why were the eggs more expensive?
Because of the bird flu.
Avian flu.
Which we had no control over because we completely got rid of the team that dealt with that. Right, Trump? We defunded the CDC.
They didn't send them back an email with 5 things that they did that day.
Right, exactly. So there's nothing we can do about any of that. But like, beef prices continue to be fucking through the goddamn roof. And the price of chicken is high. The price of pork is high. Like, where is our beef from Argentina?
They used it for the troops.
We gave
Hexeth
them
had to
$40
spend
billion.
Hexeth spent the millions of dollars on beef. Guess we didn't need it.
I guess we didn't need all that. Like, it's fucking this, and this is the result. This poll is the result. Non-college white voters is Trump's fucking bread and butter.
They're out of there.
And then and as of this month, they're like, Trump who?
And now,
guy.
And now Iran's doing the Lego mixtape on us every fucking afternoon. It's like, God, this is just getting bad.
Yeah, and Trump decided, hey guys, you know, it'd be a brilliant fucking idea. By the way, he decided this at 3 a.m. because he has dementia. Why don't we?
He can't remember to sleep at night.
Why don't we block the Strait of Hormuz? Why don't we do that? That way, nobody gets any oil.
But we don't need it. But also fuck everybody else.
But we don't need it. We don't want China to have it. And now they're thinking this is going to put some sort of pressure on China to tell Iran to cut it out or whatever.
Do we want to put pressure on China after we just expended we just blew our entire fucking load, bombing the shit out of fucking Iran, bombing the shit out of fucking, or giving all that shit to fucking Israel? We don't have any shit. We don't have enough shit on hand.
See, and this is what I'm talking about right here.
China and Russia and North Korea right now.
The Saudis.
Saudis back Trump to end Hormuz blockade as Iran threatens second straight, dubbed the Gate of Tears. See, man, their branding is crazy. Their branding, like, and that, like, I hope now people are understanding this is not the Taliban. Right?
No.
Stop thinking of these dudes like, you know, wearing fucking, you know, face masks with AK-47s on a dirt bike in an RPG. That is not who these people are. This is an entire other country and their government and their whole apparatus. Stop downplaying them, right? Like, I don't have to glaze them, but y'all need to fucking take Iran seriously. They're not to be messed with lightly. And he keeps thinking he can just jump in there and piss him off and fuck him up and then walk away. That's Iran, dude.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan.
And, you know, Iran, now I'm going to mention someone, and I know that the chat is, I don't like this person either, but there was an interview with Hillary Clinton the other day. Yeah. And she was talking about the Biden administration,
Stupido! They're pathetic. They are effing pathetic.
negotiation with Iran, and how the Iran negotiators were experts in everything that they were talking about. They were they had experts when it came to nuclear arms. They had experts when it came to physicists. They knew the numbers and the details of everything that they were talking about. And so the Obama administration had to come with the same quality of person.
Right.
And it took 20 months for them to negotiate that deal that Trump tore up. And for Trump to think that he was going to get a deal from Iran in a day.
With Kushner and Witkoff.
Yeah. With Kushner and Witkoff and fucking JD Vance, who know nothing about nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
In a day, they thought they were going to get a deal to end this thing. It's completely insane.
It was never going to happen.
Because you're right, they're treating Iran like it's the Taliban or, Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi or whatever.
Or Hamas, or like even Hamas has like sophisticated, educated leaders and stuff like that. But they're treating them like they're a band of, scallywags, just guerrilla warfare out in the mountains.
Yeah.
But that's not who these people are, dude. And they need to, like, these people have degrees.
Yeah.
Don't send Jared and fucking Steve.
And they're apparently very detail oriented. So like the Trump administration is not known for being detail oriented.
They are professionals.
So and she said for Trump and Secretary Rubio to not attend the negotiations so they can go and fucking watch a UFC fight. They were never going to get a deal.
And then like unfortunately there's like the misogyny part of this, like the patriarchy part of this, where there's the respect element, and sending fucking people that the Iran negotiators deemed as Israeli agents, Israeli foreign agents. Like, not only did you not show up, but you sent people who are literally coded as like their arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even send like actual professionals and people who were supposed to be part. You sent literally the other team. You sent your tag team partners agents as opposed to coming here to like discuss a deal. So
right. You're right. It showed that the United States was not serious about this. Sending JD Vance, sending the vice president who has never dealt in any sort of international affairs. He's not known for it. He's not known to be a negotiator. Trump is it. We said this all the way. You said it all the way back at the beginning of the episode. If Trump was the expert negotiator, why the fuck didn't he go?
Just fly in there, kick in the door, and be like, "What's up? We're talking right now. Let's go."
Yeah.
We got 20 minutes.
But you're right. He doesn't have the gas in the tank.
He can't do that. He's not fucking 30. If he was 30, yeah, he'd run over there and do something. He don't even remember who he's supposed to be mad at most of the time. Wait till Joe Biden dies. He's going to have a complete fucking meltdown. When Joe Biden dies, he's going to be he will never stop talking about how the two of them were best friends. Promise you.
Since last year. We're joined by Margaret Carlson, Semaphore editor at large. Margaret, your view on the substance of this, which pits Donald Trump against religions, more than one really, and the politics of it, where it doesn't seem to be helpful to him or the standing of the war.
No decent politician would take on the Pope. It's like just asking for trouble. There's nothing in it for you. Let's put his ratings against Trump's ratings. Let's look at the Catholic vote that you were speaking of. And the Jesus talk is just so out of hand these last couple of weeks.
Miss, it's called out of pocket.
Pete Hegseth equating Trump's getting the return of the airman as the resurrection of Jesus Christ, wearing a cross around his neck, asking the troops to fight for Jesus.
They stole his phone and sold
this
it.
Week.
They put it in one of those little boxes where you can take like your old phone and they give you cash for it. They took his fucking phone, like he did the Find My Phone thing, and it was in the box. After they fucking beat his ass up and took all of his shit and then dropped him off somewhere else. He's like, "Yo, where my phone at?" Drove away. $80. They cashed his phone in. Little shitheads.
Oh boy.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Irish Catholic, Mary Ellen Doyle, High Mass, and I didn't hear the name Jesus that many times. And it seems to Catholics, almost blasphemous to do that. Like when I was growing up, Ari, we would bow our heads when we said Jesus. That's what it was like. So Catholics hearing this,
That
they
sounds
don't
horrifying.
like it. And what did you say? He's lost a big part of the
You are
non-college
forgiven.
educated Catholic voter. I think this today and the last week, even just Hegseth invoking that name all the time, I think he's lost out.
Trump was doing a
I'm not even
Hadouken.
that
It
good
was
at
not healing. That's a sonic boom coming out of his hand.
Clearly that's a tiger shot.
Yeah, everybody knows. He was
And I'm
fighting that
offended.
man.
Clearly he's about to drive rush.
Well, there you go. And your spirituality and religious choices will never be evaluated on the beat. So I'm
Well,
sure
it was just like
you're pretty good at
confession.
anything, but we don't even do that around here. So But Margaret, the other piece is obviously is the president.
All right, Ari, we're gonna move on a little bit.
Pressure points emerging right now out of the Middle East, where we are now 24 hours into the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports targeting Tehran's shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. The move, meant to apply economic pressure on Iran, is getting pushback from other countries who rely on this waterway, with Saudi Arabia.
Wow, look, China says cut it out. Saudi Arabia says cut it out. France says, what the fuck are you doing?
He
Was
does
it a
not
good
know.
idea?
He does not know how to fix this.
He's just making it worse.
He just doesn't know how to fix it. And this is why you can't put in idiots, man, because they'll just listen to people. There is no way out of it. We have to just stop and apologize and leave and do whatever the fuck they do. Like, they're not going to give up. Ever. They're never going to give up.
Reagan Elite, what's going on? Oh, I got something for Reagan Elite real quick. Because I saw him wearing this shirt the other day on his show. So,
So you stole his stole his shirt?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, he's just fucking flailing. And everything he's doing is more and more desperate.
Right.
It's just increasing desperation to figure out something to do, an off-ramp or a way to put pressure on people that is just continually backfiring. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if he listened to people who were experts, but he hates experts. He hates when people know more about something than he does. He can't, he needs people to tell him that his previous idea was already correct. He's always hated Iran ever since the hostage crisis. He's always hated them. He's always been, yeah, we're going to get them for that. We're going to just take their oil. We're going to just do whatever we want. This is what he's been saying since the 80s. Like 87, he's on an interview saying this shit.
Yeah. And I think this is a larger problem with his entire administration, with their war on experts, we'll call it.
The brain
where
drain.
none of these people who are in charge of any part of the Trump administration are actual fucking experts in anything. You can go down the list, all the secretaries, the whole cabinet.
Yeah.
There's not
Dr.
one of
Oz
them-
is like the assistant, and he's the only one with a medical degree over there.
Right. You got fucking RFK Jr. in charge of health.
Dude literally fucking drinks blue methyl like all day.
Linda
And he's on
McMahon-
anabolic
calling
steroids.
for an end.
Oh, sorry. Linda McMahon is in charge of our education. Pete Hegseth is our Secretary of Defense.
Nay, war.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. The War Department.
The War Department.
Like, I really
Besson's
don't
in charge of fucking
right.
And Lutnick.
Soybean farmer. Howard Lutnick only has a job because he's Trump's friend.
Good thing he's in charge of commerce.
Yeah, good thing he's in
Good
charge.
thing he's not fucking Epstein financial crime affiliated, but he's in charge of fucking commerce. Like these, like that's why I'm like these Republicans have to go, these Democrats have to go. Like the fact that anybody voted to like approve this cabinet just shows that there's a huge problem with Congress.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's cleanup time, because
Anyone,
how the hell could y'all are supposed to be the last check for this cabinet, and the cabinet is important, we see, because they're the ones that can call on the 25th. They're the ones that are supposed to rein him in on the day-to-day basis and provide him factual information to make good decisions. That's not happening.
No. And in fact, all they do in these supposed cabinet meetings is kiss his ass.
Right.
Oh, Mr. President, you're so great. We love that you're here.
Wow, that's a great tie.
That's a great tie, sir.
Unbelievable.
No, even Marco Rubio, who is the Secretary of the State Department, the Secretary of everything, yeah,
most things.
He is probably the most qualified person in the cabinet, but he's in the wrong position.
Right.
He should not be Secretary of State. What diplomatic ties does he have?
And lest we forget, all this is supposed to have been done because they wanted to be in Cuba by now.
Yeah.
To do what? Who knows? Like, what are you going to do?
I mean,
Trump, kill the government, kill the people in government.
Yeah,
cool.
Trump let it slip. He could do whatever he wants with Cuba. No one's going to stop him.
So is that the move that Republicans are after? Just wait until they force NATO's hand, or they force some sort of like joint defense forces hand to shoot one of our planes down, or sink one of our ships, or take out a bunch of our drones, so they can be completely isolationist?
I think at this point, I cannot say that the administration has any kind of plan. I don't know what they plan to do day to day. It is absolutely insane. As an American citizen, terrifying.
And it's so wasteful, because if any of this stuff was like all the stuff we see up there on the map, and the blockade on the blockade, and bombing them in the first place, and Hegseth letting rip fucking 1,500 strike targets in like the first 2 hours, like just the sheer lack of forethought. Like, if you wanted to have talks with them, you drop 10 bombs. You want to talk? All right, 20 bombs. You want to? There's an escalation effect.
Right.
They just outrip after the people have already conceded to all of the points. Let loose the largest barrage, like more than fucking shock and awe.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? You know, we have other enemies, right? And this place is thousands of miles from the homeland. What are you doing? Think before you act. We don't just have infinite fucking missile glitch. We don't.
And I think it's really just an excuse for fucking Hegseth to do what he wants to do as the Secretary of War, or whatever the fuck. Like, he really just wanted to blow some shit up and show that he's super cool.
Yeah.
And super weirdly Christian.
And nationalists.
Yeah. But there's no plan here. There never was a plan. There never will be a plan. It is a day-to-day fumble through the life of Trump. And whatever he says at 3 a.m, apparently is what the U.S. military will do.
I'm sure they mentioned it, but Iran's Lego wars really kick butt.
Yeah.
Bro, they are shitting on us. They are teabagging us.
Yeah, they're pretty good at propaganda.
They got everybody fucking clapping and singing at our fucking disgrace.
Just put stuff in Lego, and then, you know.
The Danes ain't said shit. They ain't did one season desist. They ain't said nothing. Oh, free
and a
expression.
return to negotiations. This, as there are reports that communication between the U.S. and Iran is still ongoing, with another round of in-person talks in the next few days reportedly being considered after
Here's a
talks
hint.
in Pakistan
Don't
last
send
week.
nobody else. Don't send nobody else you like.
Don't fucking send this guy to do it again.
Don't send anybody you like.
He doesn't know how to order donuts.
How long have you worked here?
I just got here. How long has this place been open? I don't know.
What's the manager's name? How long has he worked here?
What's that? I'll take a dozen of those. What's that?
Just give me a normal dozen.
Can I have one human donut?
Do you guys have the human food here?
My favorite music is human music.
I like the music from the radio.
My favorite radio station is the pop one.
You know. Do that one.
I love whatever music is the best.
I like the best music. He's just AI.
You know what? I'm pretty sure JD Vance is just AI at this point. Look at him.
AI companion.
He's just a robot with a fucking chat GPT.
And a beard.
And a beard. The beard hides all the buttons.
Oh, the circuit board.
He's fucking Data, but the evil Data. He's Lore.
Lore.
With less charisma.
Oh no, I called him Fable or something.
Yeah, it's Lore. There are like 4 of them.
No. Because he's not Lore. Lore was funny, actually. But he's a fake Lore, so he'd be Fable.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He's the knockoff.
Yeah.
Yakov Smirnoff.
Haha.
Meanwhile, here in the U.S., Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be leading ceasefire talks between the U.S., Israel, and Lebanon today. It's the highest level of talks between these countries in over 30 years. Let's bring in MS Now senior national security reporter David Rode, former Arab-Israeli negotiator at the State Department and senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
See, these are the fucking guys they need to have negotiating this shit.
No, bring in this guy, this random guy.
The people who have already negotiated with these people, just put them back in the places they were in.
Peace, Aaron David Miller, and retired U.S. Navy Vice Admiral Kevin Donegan. So, David, the U.S. and Iran reportedly are considering a second round of ceasefire talks. What more do we know about when and where this could happen as the ceasefire now expires in just a matter of days?
Yeah, so
when is this from? This is over,
U.S.
right?
officials have
This is today?
Because I said the ceasefire's already done, no?
15 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
This was posted. I guess I saw it as soon as it was posted.
told MS Now that the talks about possible new face-to-face meetings are ongoing, nothing definite yet. And then 2 Pakistani officials have told the Associated Press that they see the talks that began in Islamabad as the first of a series of meetings. So again, nothing agreed to yet, but it seems like a possible scenario is another face-to-face meeting in Islamabad before the ceasefire expires. As you mentioned, the 2-week ceasefire ends. It will end at midnight Monday, on Monday the 20th. So at 12:01 a.m. on.
The ceasefire is going to end on 4/20. Bro.
420 plays it. I was like, I can't say that. I can't.
Nope.
I must. Something compels me from the inside.
Tuesday the 21st is when it ends, and that creates a deadline that I think puts pressure on both sides for an agreement. And I think the fact that there's even officials confirming these discussions means that some sort of progress is being made. But we won't know until they actually meet if there's a possible deal here.
We're going to have to capitulate.
Aaron, the president said yesterday the appropriate people in Iran have called. He says they want to make a deal. The vice president adding late on Fox News that the ball is in Iran's court to move talks forward. Do you see this as progress, that both sides appear to still be at the table?
I mean, I think the issues, thanks for having me, and it's great to be here. I think the issues are now clarified. The key issue on the surface is the Straits, but in reality, if the negotiations are going to focus on anything, it's going to be the nuclear issue. The vice president, when he did his presser coming out of his 21 hours of negotiation with the Iranians, referred to only one issue, the nuclear issue. And the administration has now put something on the table that fundamentally contradicts its previous positions, which is that there will be no uranium enrichment of uranium. They proposed a 20-year moratorium. And by the way, a moratorium.
They're already capitulating, Mikey. I thought
to
Trump said
to something that they totally don't have to.
I thought Trump said no nukes ever.
But if they want to get off of fossil fuels themselves, even though they export it, and they want to go green or they want to use nuclear, they're going to want to have nuclear stuff. If they want to have their own MRI machines and do all that, they want nuclear fuel because they say that they have domestic needs for it. Unless you're supplying them with it,
yeah,
you got to get and they have a place to mine it. They have a pit mine with uranium in it. So I don't know how you're going to tell them not to mine the uranium that's in their own fucking country and then purify it. Like, they're going to do it. So getting the cameras, getting the inspectors, getting all that shit was the best that you were going to get out of that situation. They tried to, and then you threw it up. You threw it away for no fucking reason.
Once again, their stated goals for ending this war was ending Iran's nuclear program permanently forever, and dismantling their ability to build and launch missiles, and dismantling their ability to control the Strait of Hormuz.
All three strikes.
Yeah. One of them is literally impossible.
Yeah.
Keeping them from getting nuclear weapons forever is literally impossible.
And even if they wanted to do that, at what cost? You want 24 fucking hours surveillance on a foreign nation to make sure that they don't get weapons ever? Brother. Use your words.
Is a pause, right? It's a cessation. It's not a permanent end. The Iranians have come back with a single-digit number, according to reporting, 5 years. I think that if that issue could somehow be narrowed and cracked, and you could come up with an issue on how to dilute the 60% of highly enriched uranium that is buried somewhere, probably near Isfahan, that you could actually imagine. I know it's hard to conceptualize and conceive it now. You could actually imagine the coming together of a deal, but it is going to require concessions from both sides so that each side will walk away as a winner. I don't think that's what the president's view of negotiations is. That's part of the problem.
Admiral, we are now 24 hours into the president's blockade of Iranian ports targeting Tehran's shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. China's foreign ministry this morning was critical of this blockade, calling it dangerous and irresponsible and warning it will aggravate tensions. What do you make of this blockade tactically? And at some point, do you see other countries getting involved?
Yeah, well, from an operational view right now, clearly the U.S. forces are postured. They have the right forces that they need to execute this. And don't expect to see them off the coast hovering over the ports of related to Iran. What the U.S. said is they don't want any ships either entering or exiting Iranian ports or Iranian coastal waters. So the U.S. will do this by likely standing off in the Gulf of Oman, but using their surveillance assets to determine what ships will go and come from those ports. And then if they're going to interdict them, they're going to be interdicting them likely in the Gulf of Oman. And they have the right forces, right boarding teams to do that if they have to.
Right. Exactly.
We can't afford daycare. We can't afford childcare.
I saw this this reel of just Navy ships firing various weapons and the cost of each bullet or missile being fired, and above it says, "Oh, we can't afford healthcare, but this missile costs $1 million every time you launch it."
Some are multi-million dollars.
Right.
And Dickbag was just letting them rip, just firing them off into a girls' school. And it's like a Tomahawk's like $4 million.
And I think going back to that poll about voters not liking Trump anymore, that's one of the things, man. Like, they see all this military hardware being used and all these missiles being launched and all these bombs being dropped, and the cost is being reported all the time of what we're spending every single day.
Yeah.
And the fact that Trump wants to add an additional $500 billion to the Pentagon's budget. And
It's
they're
just
like,
so
well, what
tone
about
deaf.
you said that we couldn't afford things.
We got a deficit.
We don't have unlimited money in this country. Mike Flood said it.
Legendary Mike Flood.
We can't afford health care in this country, but yet the military can just have whatever money it wants. Even more money than it wants. Half the time when they ask for an increase in their budget, it's like a couple of percentage points here or there. And then Congress goes and gives them an additional 10%.
Right. And this was 40% over last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. My fractions aren't great. But yeah, from like 980 billion to 1.5 trillion.
It's an additional half.
Yeah. But we can just fund that. That's that. Hey, you'll be grateful that you're not speaking Iranian. Okay. Like this is the promise that they sold everybody, or the lie that they sold everybody back in Operation Iraqi Freedom. And I forget what Afghanistan's mission was, but it was, oh, we have to do this because they're going to come after us and they're going to be hitting American cities, and you're going to be, we're all going to be in bomb shelters. And that's what they said.
You know what, Mikey? It's a great time to talk about this.
$67. Yeah, for one building.
The rising cost of utilities definitely does have some effect on the reason we're going to just under one roof.
After we went through our first year, we looked at the electric bill, we looked at the rent, we realized we were not going to make enough money. So we had to raise the rent. And that was what started a lot of the rift with the West Virginians, that we were going to have to raise the rent. When they had camping the same way for so many years.
4-figure electric bill.
$1,300.
You know, I've only ever seen my electric bill be 4 figures once.
Never.
And that was during like the hottest summer, using the most AC, like 1 month. Like I think it was August of a year, and my electric bill was $1,000 in 1 year, or in 1 month.
But your stove and everything was electric.
Yeah, everything was electric. So it was AC. Oh, sorry. It was AC. It was electric stove, all the appliances, all that stuff at once. And the food truck was connected to the house. So the food truck generated a lot of power on its own. So there was a lot of, it wasn't just my house, I guess, is another point too. Like it was my house plus the food truck, keeping all the fridges on the food truck cold.
These people are in RVs. They don't even have big appliances.
Yeah.
Like a washing machine or like a dishwasher and all that stuff.
And, you know, West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the country.
Yeah.
Like not to shit on people from West Virginia, but it does have one of the lowest average household incomes.
No, that's where they're going to do the clean coal Trump's been promising them.
Well, they also have a rather high unemployment rate, so
didn't happen, huh? Funny that.
$1,500 bills for electric, and West Virginia has decided that they're going to run on coal for at least 2040. You don't have a choice when it comes to electric and water, and so.
Oh, is that coal getting expensive? What's going on with all that?
Wonder what that's about.
You can't decide to just not have electric for that month. We're seeing businesses lock up, businesses are closing.
Many downtowns across the country have struggled to bounce back since the pandemic. Now rising electricity prices have made it impossible for some small businesses to survive.
So positive. And look towards the future,
Thank you.
On bigger plans, but sometimes it's just so sad, walking down there, seeing it. From here down.
Wow.
Was counters. I had an ice cream freezer, And then I had my baker too. I was getting ready. Like I had a bunch of stuff made up and everything and was getting ready for Valentine's Day because holidays were $700 to $1,000 days. So I would have had the money if I could have just got 2 days, just 2 days. We closed down on the 12th. The electric being so high made me struggle on pretty much everything else. Once I got behind, it was like I could not dig out of that hole. And every time I would pay a big lump sum, then the next bill would come in and it would be even higher. We're in the antique mall, Ravenswood Antique Mall. And we are coming back to.
It's going to look like Cuba in here.
Yeah.
Some of my baked goods. At one point, I had 5 employees. 3 lost their jobs the day that I closed because I was down to 3 for the winter because I knew. And we lost our only source of income at that time.
14 months ago, we opened up this small gallery here, which is only 1,900 square feet. We just love it here. But the problem is we're getting really beat up with the high energy costs. This small gallery, I keep the temperature down kind of low, and I'm still paying $700, $800.
Jesus.
The $800 a month? Every month?
And that's with the heat down low?
Jeez, man.
What do you want people to do? Pop.
Yeah.
Hey, Pop. Good to see you.
Hey, Pup Galaxy, what's going on? Hope you're feeling good.
Our company, I've called several
Glad to see you.
times, and I told them, look, I'm a senior citizen, I'm 71, I'm an artist, and I have a gallery, and I'm trying to help the community. Is there any program that can help?
Is that a picture of Trump?
I think that's Charlie Kirk.
All right. Oh, man. Imagine if the AI spit out that image, but instead of Epstein in the bed, it was Charlie Kirk.
Dude, if he was healing Charlie Kirk, I would be still on the floor laughing that this dude just fucking walked off of a cliff like this, Wile E. Coyote style.
Yeah, right, McKinnon. Who is that doctor?
There's a doctor on the screen.
Us to help our community.
No.
She says, I'm sorry, we really.
No, there isn't. It depends on, because, all right, most of the United States, the power companies have duopolies or monopolies, where they divide up, the state or counties into their own territories, and you basically just pay the utility company whatever they say because there's no competition.
Internet too.
Internet is more duopoly. There's usually 2 options, and they both suck. But in my state, we have 3 power companies total, and they divide up the state. So I used to pay one power company, now I pay another, and they're kind of the middlemen for the actual power generators.
Right.
They're just they provide the power lines. They are the transportation of the power, and there's different companies that generate the power. Those companies set one rate. They give it to the company that transmits the power, and then that company sets another rate that I pay. In
Mikey?
Connecticut, oh, sorry.
Okay. Go ahead.
In Connecticut, we have PURA, which is the utility regulation from the state. There's like a committee that the power companies have to go to ask for rate increases. That's how the state regulates the power companies, but they're not very good at it. Like, they still just approve the rate increases.
Texas could use them.
Yeah. So we do have some oversight, which is better than some states.
Mike E. Scott says, how diluted and mental does Trump and his administration sending the planet into a tailspin before he is removed along with the cowards Netanyahu, Merck, Starmer, and Macron? See, like, I think people don't know a lot about like international news, and I think we try to do a little bit about that here. Like, they've been protesting Netanyahu since October 8th, every
Mhm.
Friday or Saturday, I think it is, every night outside of his place. Every fucking night. In Germany, they're protesting like every month. In the UK, they're locking up Palestine Action people every month. They're getting people locked up. I'm not sure what the Macron situation is, but Macron is like getting shit from Trump. Like, he is so stupid that he is literally pissing off everybody that would have been on his side if he would have just told them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he can't even keep his allies anymore.
Holy shit.
What?
Man, a helicopter just buzzed the tower over here.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. I haven't seen a helicopter that close since I lived near a fucking helicopter airport.
Since I lived next to the helicopter factory.
I literally did. So yeah. No, it's fucking this whole we have the like a terrible infrastructure for power too.
Yeah.
Like, our power grid is way old, and Trump refuses to fix it. Everyone refuses to fix it, to be honest. Biden refused to fix it too.
It's almost like we need a Green New Deal.
Yeah, it's almost like you know what America needs, and really
Hundreds of thousands of jobs.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs. A New Deal.
A clean energy infrastructure.
Yeah.
Build bridges and
high-speed rail.
Rail and bridges.
Rail and bridges.
Pouring almost $1 trillion into the infrastructure of the country, creating jobs and fixing a dilapidated system that hasn't been updated since the 50s.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. And I would honestly stop giving these block grants to the states to do it themselves, because that money just gets fucking bound up in everything. I would just be like, hey, the federal government is building a new highway, or the federal government is building a new rail.
Or just fix the ones that are there. Because, like, I get that, like, the system and the structure, and look up some World War II history for why our highway system is the way that it is, and and why the specifications are what they are.
So they can drive some tanks on them roads
and land a plane on it. But if you need to use it for that purpose, it probably can't do that purpose right now.
Yeah.
Like, if you put a tank on most of these bridges, that fucking bridge is done.
Yeah.
So why don't you just restore the shit that should have been fixed a long time ago, since you guys have already pissed off everybody in the fucking nation or in the fucking planet, and everybody fucking mad at us. We should probably make sure our highways work. Maybe ride the D.
Ride the D.
Just do that.
Your rent for the commercial space here is how much?
It's only $600. It's $150 to $200 less than my power bill.
Damn, man, he's paying more for power than he is for rent.
Fuck.
Chrissy says, I heard that the California wildfires were caused by an electric pylon D-link failing. The D-link was made in the 1930s. Yes. And it was never changed.
Still works.
And what happened is that because of wind and rain, the power line ate through the linkage over 100 years.
Sometimes you got to do that.
It's fucking crazy. And then the power company's like, well, it's not our fault. We're only supposed to maintain the power lines. How could it possibly be our fault? That is that's capitalism for you. America needs public utilities.
Yep. Wouldn't be hard.
West Virginia relies on aging coal-powered plants more than any other state instead of cleaner, cheaper sources of energy. It's like they're playing SimCity.
And they don't understand how the game works.
And they never upgraded their power plants from coal to, let's say, oil, because oil is, I think, the next step up. And they're just like, these coal power plants will last forever.
I've already upgraded it twice. See?
Right.
It's like, yeah, but you could just have solar.
Yeah, sure. Wind power plants probably take up more space overall because they don't generate as much power, but still,
They
you
got all
don't have
them.
to.
They got all them valleys and shit like that. I know the wind goes whipping through them bitches. Put in some windmills.
No, the windmills, they kill the birds and they cause cancer or whatever.
That'd be all right. They've been dodging sticks their whole life.
Was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices.
Oh my God.
And that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
I find
That'll
it
help
fascinating
them.
that
Yeah,
they
that-
go and they give him a trophy saying he's the friend of a coal miner. Our coal miners are dying of black lung. They don't have
Yes.
clean water. They can't
Yes.
feed their children. Their
Yes.
schools are closing. Their
Yes.
electric bills are through the roof, and they
Cool.
can't afford groceries.
That's what he promised them.
I'm
I don't
pretty sure
understand.
that's-
I don't understand why people were expecting anything different. That is exactly what he promised them.
He promised them exactly that they would all die of black lung and not be able to feed their kids or get educated.
They love it. They love getting in there and getting in the mine and touching the coal with their hands. They love it.
I like how the way to get on Trump's good side is to give him a trophy for something.
No, but that's our generation. We're the ones that need participation trophies for everything.
I honestly thought that like black lung would be a thing of the past. It sounds
it's
like it's
coming
one
back.
of those things that would have gotten rid of already at some point.
Hey.
But every time you hear about coal mines and coal miners and the way that the coal mining companies treat their employees, you're like, oh, well, it's never really changed, huh? It's always kind of been the same.
Coal power plants emit heavy metals, radioactive isotopes, and other harmful substances. Yeah, they are not highly regulated. I wonder why.
I wonder who did
I
that.
wonder who's paying politicians to not increase the regulations on coal mines. Thanks, Citizens
wonder.
United.
The trophy for us.
We are energy rich. I mean, they come through, tore up our land. We kept hearing, we're going to, the coal mines, the coal mines, the coal mines. I love the current administration, but what about the coal mines? If they're digging, baby, digging, I don't see it here.
Oh, do you mean that Trump promised something that didn't happen? Wow.
I've had
Like,
to close
I'm
down.
running out of space for the Fell For It Again awards. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Hold on. We haven't played a button in a while.
I've never had my flabbers so gasted.
Yeah. That's,
I think the first administration, if my memory serves correct, he said that all of those coal miners can go learn code.
Yeah. They were gonna do job retraining.
Yep. Because they weren't getting the money that they wanted. So
Right.
they were going to get coding courses instead.
Which is the appropriate step to take for an industry that's going to go away.
Correct.
You do job retraining, you let workers learn new trades and new skills. That is the appropriate step to take. However, the Trump administration didn't even do it.
Oops. Just said I was going to do it, and then I actually pulled the rug on you.
The people in charge at that time were more capable than the people who are in charge now. Like, they were mostly Republican operatives and people who knew something about something, right?
Yeah, retraining for what? Amazon? Exactly.
Yeah, that is part of the problem, is what is the job market now, right? But when you are a coal miner and eventually your job is going to go away, the mine is no longer mineable, you run out of coal or whatever, or the company closes or whatever, or you get fired because the company can't afford you anymore, or you're dying from black lung, you got to do something else. And
we
the
don't
government
need it anymore.
should provide funding for job retraining or to have you go to school or something.
Or do nothing.
Right. And in fact, for people who are ill from working in coal mines, there should be some sort of government funding to just let them live their lives.
If we taxed people appropriately, we'd be fine. Everybody would be fine. Everyone's quality of life could resume to the way it used to be previously, and we can have tons of social programs. It's called taxing motherfuckers who have been skating by, paying as little, or in fact, paying net negatives, or getting money from the government every year, and they're making billions and billions of dollars. That's the fucking issue. We need more tax income.
Yeah.
That is the issue.
And it's sad that people are just coming to the realization that Trump is fucking them over now.
Because he's deep. He is deep in the flesh already before they are starting to realize it. Knife's gonna break the skin, guys. We should stop him.
Rent.
Guys.
You have a gas bill, you have an electricity bill, you have water bill, you have sewer bill, okay? I can't afford all that plus pay $2,000 a month rent. Your utility bills are more than your rent is. And you know, we are a red state. I don't want us to be the left behind state anymore, I guess I should say.
Hold on, pause it. So Cory Booker, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer should be mobilizing the Democrats to find solutions for the people of West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's called party leadership.
Yeah.
How do you get some people in those elections? How do we get some regulations on these people? How do we get some FEC investigations on some of these companies to make them go easy on the people? There's things the Democrats could be doing, but they just won't do it.
You know, and the Democrats did used to have a senator in West Virginia.
Who?
Old what's his name? He left the party a few years back.
Oh, Cinema?
No.
Oh,
God, what the fuck is his name?
Thank you, Gina.
Ooh, Bezos bucks. Let's see. Who were the rest of West Virginia senators?
Dude, I love.
Yeah, now they got James Justice and Shelley Moore, but Joe Manchin.
Manchin. I always whenever I see his name, I think of Mnuchin, and then I try not to say it wrong, and then I just get stomach, and then I just don't say anything.
But you know, Democrats can win in West Virginia.
Yeah. Chrissy says, Tim and Mikey, it is not just the coal miners that need long-term support for health issues. The families often suffer from illnesses as the miners brought home coal dust as well as asbestos and radon. That's the radiation. The ground is filled with radioactive isotope.
Right.
Filled with it. Like when you dig the foundation for your house, they have to fucking get in there with the fucking meters and see how much radiation is coming up out of the dirt, especially around here, because we're at the edge of the glacial shelf.
Right.
So a lot of stuff got dragged here.
And that is the problem, is like the coal mining companies aren't going to do any of this. They don't care.
No.
And so this is where the government can step in and, you know, help people. But this administration and previous administrations have not been willing to do that because they don't want to spend the money. And therefore, West Virginia feels like it's a forgotten state by everyone.
That should be the number one fucking target.
Right.
Democrats should be in West Virginia and Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. Like that's where they should be, just helping people, and the mood and the crowd will shift towards them. But instead, they're just gonna fucking, you know,
right,
poo all this shit and then put Kamala back up there.
Like, and you know, we talk shit about a lot of states on this show, but it should not be that states are this dire when it comes to having assistance from the federal government. That should not be that people have to pay double their rent on electric or whatever without some sort of government intervention.
You don't think that thrift store is bringing in, like $60K a month to
Right.
pay these bills?
Because you're destroying this state's economy is being destroyed by a lack of action by the government.
Because
This
how are they
is-
going to generate how is the state going to generate revenue to give the people the services that they need when everyone works for the coal plant and the coal plant's making everybody sick and the coal plant's not paying any fucking taxes?
Right.
It's a bottomless pit of tax debt.
It's actually disheartening because that's kind of what they voted for.
Right.
But I don't like seeing it. I don't like, I don't want to see
Right.
that happen to people, even though they voted against their own interest time and time again. It's their fault, but someone should also do something to fix it.
Right. We're going to have to fix it even if they don't want it to be fixed.
Right.
Because they don't understand that it's broken, or how they don't understand how it's broken. So they think that, oh, I can do this and I'll be safe from whatever the hell you're talking about. No, your whole plan is bad. You're going to get sick and die. You can't do that. And I'm intervening on your behalf because you're stupid and you don't understand that you're doing this wrong.
And when people say, oh, we love Trump, but we don't want to be forgotten by him, that's the problem.
That's what he does. You fell for it. He got
Right.
you. You already voted, so he doesn't give a shit now. That was the whole point.
And I think what's going to happen in West Virginia is a lot of Democrats are going to get elected.
Yeah.
And just like it's going to be across the country in these midterms, you are going to see House members from West Virginia. I don't know how many seats they get, but it's at least one. You are going to see a House member or two from West Virginia who is a Democrat.
You got to have the Appalachian corridor. Got to open that thing up. Kentucky, West Virginia,
Yeah.
the Carolinas. Democrats should be in
Kentucky
there.
Kentucky already has a Democratic governor.
Right.
So that stuff is
Bashir, right?
happening. Yeah, that stuff is happening. And you're going to see a sea change in some of these states where they do feel forgotten by Trump and the White House and the administration and Republicans in general, because they're going to see the Republicans aren't doing anything for them.
And I think the time for like politicians and all that stuff has already passed. And I think that's kind of why like a lot of the reactionaries that hop in here are always like, well, why aren't you guys saying this? And why aren't you saying? Because a lot of this shit, the writing's on the wall. Like West Virginia is fucked and they need a new plan, right?
Yeah.
They need a completely new set of like a new paradigm in which to operate, because there is no way to save the system that they have. Like, it doesn't matter what motherfuckers want to say in the midterms. Those people on the screen we just watched, they don't have their business anymore.
Right.
Like it's got like they don't have like, 100, 200 grand to just like get everything back in the black and then just start again. Like that's just not happening. Right. So they need another way of doing things going forward. There needs to be a totally separate way that patches up the injuries of the past and then leads into a brighter, better tomorrow, or else they're just going to say, fuck this.
I think at the very least, whatever administration comes into either West Virginia or the country next needs to completely rethink the way that West Virginia's power is generated.
Yeah.
And also regulate the shit out of their coaling industry and regulate the shit out of their power industry, because those are the two things that are literally probably killing people.
Right.
The things have been deregulated so much that the companies are just harming people and there's no repercussions. That's what's going on. They need regulation. You need watchdogs. You need people saying to the coal mining companies, hey, you cannot do this to your workers. No one's telling them that. They're saying, oh, well, we've deregulated coal to a point where you guys can do whatever you want as long as you dig up the coal, right? That's all we care about. Dig, baby, dig. That's not what you should care about. You should care about the health of the workers.
or at least the compensation of the workers, so that if they're going to take these risks, it's not for just like next month's mortgage. You know, it's not
Right.
just for like the short term. If they like crab fishermen or something like that, it should be paid. The payments should be adequate. Crab fishing is horribly dangerous, and those guys also make fucking 60 grand in 4 weeks.
Right.
It is what it is. They're not getting anything. They're being told, if you don't fucking get in there and dig, you don't have electricity, and also you're going to get sick, and also you're not going to get paid enough.
Right. Also, we're not going to give you a pension for when you do get sick.
Right.
Like there should be programs in place by the federal government to help these people, and they're just being forgotten. They know they're being forgotten at this point.
And they
And
had
they've
the floods
known it
and
for
all
a
that
while.
and they had all that floods and shit.
Yeah.
Where they had to dig each other out. And I think a more perfect union went out there. Shit, there was something else I was going to say. Whatever. It'll come to me later in the middle of the night.
And then Mikey will text me, "Hey Tim, I remembered."
I won't even give him context. I'll just say it.
Mikey never gives me context for when he fucking texts me. He's just like, "Hey Tim."
Gotta stay cryptic. Oh, I remember it. There it is. So when we get universal health care, are we just going to keep coal plants open that are just like openly, just dragging all of the funds out of universal health care out of the fund for it, because we're sending people in to get fucking cancer and they get cancer, and then we have to treat their cancer because they went into the cancer hole?
Right.
Like certain industries will just be too dangerous and not worth the money.
Right.
Right. Because those companies are going to have to get taxed to accommodate the healthcare for the people.
And I understand that West Virginia, the economy sort of revolves around coal mining, but they need to set up a new economy. It's time, guys. It's 2030 almost. It's time to drop coal. It just is. And it's going to take some time, and it's not going to be great the entire time, but it's better than what you're going to have right now.
This from Chris C. An 86-year-old French woman who moved to the U.S. to marry her 1950 sweetheart is being held in a crowded detention center after she was arrested by ICE and cuffed by her hands and feet. There was another one here.
That's not great.
It gets worse. Her family and friends have told the media that ICE agents are withholding medication and medical treatment. I think they're up to just a bunch of dashes. You got to fill it in. Up to 16 or 17 people that have died in ICE custody due to poor conditions and all that. Like, I don't know how many times we have to say it, guys. Concentration camps. It's concentration camps. That's what that is. They're concentrating immigrants into one area and then not giving them medical treatment and then just seeing what happens to them. There's measles ripping through the one in Texas, in Libby. All kinds of communicable diseases are just ripping through there because people are being held there for months. And it's ice cold in there. And like, yeah, trust me, if you're fucking whoever your representative is, if they're voting for this shit, let me put the number up on the screen. You call them right now and you told them Mikey Famine said, knock that shit off. Defund and close all of these things before we all end up in the fucking Hague.
Yeah, it's pretty, like, once again, it's another thing that's going to go down in U.S. history as like a very dark time.
Yeah, look at Rambo over here.
You mean the little French lady?
The French lady who came over here to get fucking married? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that lady, huh? Shouldn't have fucking
Here, I'll
come
put
over
it.
here, I guess.
Here, I'll read it again. An 86-year-old French woman who moved to the U.S. to marry her 1950 sweetheart is being held in a crowded detention center after she was arrested by ICE and cuffed by her hands and feet. Oh, her family and friends has told the media that ICE agents are withholding medication and medical treatment. But hey, as long as this guy,
yeah.
Hey, Things are getting cleaned up. Hey, you don't look Native American. Where are you from, buddy? Where are you from?
This is listen. This is going to be regardless of what this fucker thinks. The rest of the world and history books will see this as a dark time in America. If the history is still taught.
No, don't time him out.
Don't time him out. Let him
Yeah.
fucking say his shit. An update on something we covered last week: the Irish fuel protests.
Enough was enough. After days of disruption over soaring fuel costs, the authorities moved in. But as blockades were cleared at Galway docks, behind closed doors, a plan was being finalised by politicians under pressure to act.
Government is now temporary measures to reduce excise duty on petrol, diesel and marked gas oil from the end of May.
Hey, did fucking protests work?
It's almost like it's designed to work.
Now,
look at this chud.
Oh my, whatever, bro.
All right, man.
Whatever.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Thanks for gracing us with your presence, King of Earth. God, you're so Western chauvinist. It's embarrassing.
Oh yeah, no. If he starts like name calling and all that, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? We're not really in control of the mods.
We can try to wield them.
So a few things about the Irish fuel protests over the weekend. They started protesting the ports and the refineries. They started clogging up the entrances and exits of the refineries with trucks and tractors, and they started doing that to the ports in Galway and in Cork. And there were not clashes as we understand them as Americans between police and protesters, but there were clashes between police and protesters. It got tense. And I will say the Gardaí, the Irish police, did a much better job with protesters than American police would have.
You think?
But yeah, so the government, as we're going to hear, has come to some sort of deal. I don't know if it's everything the protesters wanted. It's more than they were doing.
To the end of July, postponing the increase in carbon tax from May until the budget in October, enhancing the transport support schemes for all haulage operators.
You got a full American
in the country,
timeout.
for local link and school transport providers and some commercial operators.
Added urgency came
Damn it,
after
Tons.
Ireland's largest opposition party, Sinn Féin, revealed it planned to call a motion of no confidence in the coalition government over its handling of the crisis. Its leader, Mary Lou MacDonald, posting on Instagram ahead of the meeting, the actions of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and independents have been disastrous. They've lost the confidence
Irish political party names are fun.
Yeah, man. I felt like I was reading Lord of the Rings.
of the public.
Which
It's
kingdom is
clear
this
that they
one?
still are not
Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, and Fine Gael. Yeah, those are political party names.
listening and do not accept the scale of this fuel and cost of living crisis. The protests began on Tuesday with urgent calls from protesters for action to cut fuel costs before businesses go broke. The police, known as the Gardaí, had moved in overnight, escorting a long line of tractors and trucks from the Irish capital, prompting fury with calls for backing from those TDs, the equivalent of MPs, who should understand what's at stake.
How could a rural TD or any independent go back to the constituents?
Wait, somebody called it. Stop right
and
here.
see what was
Hold on. Somebody fucking there it is. Adam called it. Get ready to see 10 Irish dudes behind the one calm speaking guy. Adam fucking called that shit.
I was telling my wife that the other day. I was like, every time you see one of these guys talking, there's like 10 surly guys behind him. Like, yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, he said it.
Yeah. We voted him in because he speaks the nicest.
Yeah, what he said.
to the farmers and the truckers and the builders or wherever we have here. I'm actually, and I can't believe I'm still in shock.
By morning, the main thoroughfare through Dublin was blocked once more, and a rolling roadblock on the N7 brought another day of delays for motorists.
They're not playing.
They ain't
At
fucking around.
Whitegate Oil Refinery, tankers were back on the move, escorted by Gardaí after a major operation on Saturday to clear tractors that blocked the entrance, ready to restock filling stations that have run dry.
Chrissy, we don't mention that.
Uh-oh.
The Sinn Féin definitely aren't, the IRA.
Be a real shame if this 3 little letters showed up to this port. You keep fucking around. and let me just say this on behalf of the American people. Sorry.
We're so sorry.
God damn it, dude. Like this
We
is
are causing-
this is us. We did this.
Yeah, we're causing strife in other countries.
God damn it.
Other nicer, more peaceful countries have strife because of us.
We might have to look up fucking what's going on in Philippines, because I think they're very close to not having any fuel at all.
Ali
Oh,
says, I think those are the 3 nationalist parties for United Ireland. Yeah, man. Rough stuff over there.
It's about to get very testy. Maybe we won't move to Ireland.
Maybe not right now.
Maybe I'll go to Scotland. Scotland sounds like not this.
The package of support will cost around £440 million to deliver, and it won't please everyone. But it's hoped it'll be enough
I'm
to
an
get
immigrant?
things moving. Emma Birchley, Sky News.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Australia running out of fuel as well. Yeah, see, Trump is so dumb. And then to just, you guys better fucking get out there and fucking go open up that strait if you want that oil. Motherfucker, they didn't close the strait. So whatever we need to fucking capitulate on is what's going to happen, because this anger is very, very shortly going to be right now. The farmers are pointing at their governments, and pretty soon their governments are going to be pointing at our government, saying you need to do something, because domestically I'm getting eaten alive over here, and I'm not going to keep shoveling shit on your account. That's not happening.
Yes, I was correct. The Sinn Féin were the political party of the IRA. They were the political arm. And then they've since distanced themselves from the IRA since the Good Friday Agreement. So I wouldn't want to piss those people off either.
Like this is not like, this is real life. And I really wish, like douchebag 69 who was in the chat earlier, like as much as he thinks that this is just, I'm owning the libs, look how upset the libs are getting. The IRA is not libs. Okay.
Right.
So do not get shit confused. It is not, you're not just pissing off, the people who care about others in your country, the empaths. You're not just pissing off the empaths as an introvert. You're endangering yourself.
Yeah, as an American who really does love Ireland, I don't think I would go to Ireland as an American right now.
You don't want a little kiss on the nose?
I don't know.
Little forehead to the nose for being a piece of shit.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why would you vote for him? I didn't. I didn't.
I'd be one of those Americans with like a Canadian flag sewed onto my backpack.
Adam says, wow, that sign is the greatest point ever made. No farmers means no food, no beer.
To the Irish, that's a huge fucking deal, man.
How much more clear do we have to fucking get? Do you want food and beer? Leave us the fuck alone. Unfortunately for the Irish government, they're going to have to eat some of this.
Yeah.
They're going to have to incur some debt, and they're going to have to fucking pay these guys. They need it.
Yeah, they're going to have to
and
give
there
them
ain't
something more than they're doing it right now.
They need it, and they don't have another way to get it. And you need them.
And
so,
and once again, we are so sorry.
A million space pardons.
Yes. And to the, because earlier we heard that there were protests happening in the UK and Northern Ireland as well. Yeah. We're sorry to the UK and Europe and to all the countries that we are now causing political strife in because your farmers can't afford to do their jobs.
Sorry.
Mikey and I personally did not do it, and we voted against the people who are doing it.
We did not want that to happen.
Do you got anything, Mikey?
I think I put something in the list, didn't I?
Let me see.
Or was that it?
No, let me see. I think you did put something in the list. Just got to get to it.
The sister of the Glasgow Kiss. Yeah.
The Glasgow Kiss.
What's that? Is Glasgow in Northern Ireland?
No, Scotland.
Scotland. What's the big city in Northern Ireland?
Wow,
Belfast?
my mind is drawing Belfast, yes.
My 23andMe said I'm a quarter Belfastian.
Well, it's time to visit the motherland.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland's pretty cool.
Well, who's got a Belfastian accent that I can glean to?
Galway is Western Ireland. Part of the Republic.
To News 5 at 11, I'm Rob Powers. An amazing ending to a scary situation in Westlake yesterday. Police and the family of a 91-year-old woman unable to get a hold of her. But officers never could have imagined what they were about to find when they went to check things out. Our Scott Knoll explains.
Westlake police at the home of a 91-year-old woman Thursday night.
783, garage doors open. We're gonna make entry.
Thank God.
Google Eats says, Mr. Bristol, your Canadian flag has shipped. You may also be interested in syrup. The maple kind.
The maple kind. How many Canadians are there in the chat right now? Connecticut maple syrup is delicious.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That's when you'd be out there in the yard vacuuming the grass, trying to pretend like you're not being nosy. Just out there just sweeping the sidewalk like I always do.
My wife would be one of them people out there like, oh yeah, what is going on out there?
You go out there with some Windex and a rag and you just like washing the mailbox.
Yeah.
No, I need it streak free. I need
you get a broom, you're out there sweeping the street in front of your house.
Just got a lint brush on the tree.
You go out there with the hedge trimmer, it's not even on. You're like, what? Yeah.
Just on the bark of the tree with the hedge trimmer. Keeping it low.
Start weed whacking the bushes.
Weed whacking the driveway. Just not even doing the right thing.
No, here's what you do.
Ain't nobody washed this fence today.
The ultimate decoy is you just get a hose and turn it on. It doesn't matter where you're pointing it.
You not lying. Or have a ladder.
Yeah. Yeah.
That person clearly needs to be wherever they're supposed to be.
Another 5 British pounds from Allie.
Thank you, Allie.
Tim, Mikey, listen or watch Still Game to get good Scottish accent, lots of banter and chuckles. Yeah, Allie's trying to get us to move to Scotland hard.
Dude, I'm down.
Yeah. Yep, I'm down. You know.
Oh, this is going to be a treasure trove. Okay.
Police, her family, all unable to get a hold of the homeowner.
And vehicles in the garage.
The woman, a part of the city's
pause. Do you want to guess what this lady's up to?
I have no earthly old ladies.
There's an old lady. She's part of some program where they call and check on you every day. And she missed it. So now this officer has to do a welfare check.
I'm going to say because it's an old lady, she has fallen and she cannot get up.
Okay, good guess.
And she doesn't have one of those life alert buttons. Like those old commercials. Help, help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Life alert, man.
OK program. We've told you about it before.
Hello. This is the Are You OK?
Allowing residents to sign up for a daily call to check in, make sure everything's all right.
It is a really nice service that has saved lives in the past.
In January, we told you about how it led police to a woman who fell inside her home and couldn't get back up. This time, another woman not answering the call.
Everyone's a little bit alarmed that she was missing these contacts.
What would police find this time?
Westlake Police!
To protect the woman's identity, police didn't release any more of that video. But what happens next, no one would have guessed.
Turned out to be all okay. Everyone got a good laugh out of it.
Police found her all right in her room. We'll let the officers called to dispatch explain the rest.
We're here with her now. She's playing video games in her bedroom.
Police say not just playing video games, but trying to beat her record level, officers say. In the process, missing those attempts to check in on her. But we're told, thankful police came out. In Westlake, I'm News 5 investigator Scott Knoll.
Playing? What was she playing?
She didn't say. So she was saying she got to her highest score. I don't.
What's a high score game?
Maybe Trackmania?
Maybe she was playing like, I don't know, Pong. Trying to beat her high score. I mean, she could be playing like COD or something. Those have scores.
Can you imagine like a granny over there sitting in a fucking corner with a shotgun? She's playing fucking Warzone.
Yo, I seen these reels of this. I think she calls herself like Gamer Granny or something like that.
You're talking about Tactical Grandma.
Tactical Grandma, dude.
Yeah.
She wrecks people.
She's good. She's got skills. She's got skills.
Crazy.
She was all dressed up as an e-girl while playing Helldivers. She was streaming. She's doing the what's it called? She's got like the little virtual doll.
Oh man,
it's like a damn chibi version of her. She's got like the big adorable eyes and the little sparkles and shit.
Maybe she's trying to play one of those really like hard games, like
Dark Souls.
Yeah, like something really like Elden Ring or some shit.
Yeah, she was doing Elden Ring. She's let me solo her. That's who that is.
Or what's that game we were all playing together one night on the stream where we had to like get out of hell or whatever?
Oh, Chain Together.
Like, yeah, she's like playing. Maybe that's the high score she was trying to beat. She was playing Chain Together with a bunch of friends, and one of them kept jumping off.
That annoying game where you're like in the pot and you have the hook.
Oh my god!
Climb up, just up. That's what she was playing.
Oh my god!
What a horrible set of games this is, or that is. It's so disrespectful.
Hey, maybe she was trying to get master rank in Street Fighter.
Well, maybe. Could be. Well, what else we got?
I mean, that's all I got without ranting about a whole bunch of things. Well, ranting about a few things, but about a very specific person.
China saying reportedly passes U.S. Hormuz blockade. Yeah, of course. Well, guys, I actually have to run. I got some stuff going on. I gotta go get the little stinky mama together, and I got some other stuff going on today. So positive vibes for the famine.
Yeah, positive vibes for Mikey Famine. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that like is like the two big stories are Trump and Trump. That's kind of it right now. Congress is back in session, but God knows what they're doing today.
Yeah, we'll see how active they are after this afternoon, because I think they all got back officially today. So they haven't fucked up anything yet.
Yeah.
Anything worse than normally.
Yeah, I was scouring the news for other things, but like I think we covered the big stories. Everything else is just sort of offshoots of all that.
Yeah. All right.
But yes.
All right, kiddos. Mikey Famine signing off.
Good luck, Mikey.
Goodbye, y'all.
All right, he's gone. Let's talk about him. So before I get into what I'm going to get into, once again, we have merch for sale. It comes in various forms. Designs by McKinnon, where you can get a For Jesus Get in the Van t-shirt. Go away, TeePublic. Stop doing that stuff. Or your very own Get in the Van for Jesus shorts. There we go. That's the appropriate color. Bam. Nothing's on sale right now. Here we go. A Get in the Van for Jesus van bag. Look at that. Or you get a crossbody bag. Boom. Stylish. So go scan the QR code or go to TeePublic and search the Bin Podcast and you'll get our link for everything. And you will also get a fabulous merch. There's stickers, there's mugs, there's socks. We have it all. So do that thing. Geez, Allie. All right, I have to go and look and see who got these fucking... Hold on one second. 5 more gifted memberships from Allie. Thanks, Allie. You're the best. I just have to see who got them and then call it out. Okay, here are the people who got the memberships. I'm gonna stick to one button here. All right. So, new members. Thanks, Allie, for the gifted memberships. We have Kimberly Diamond, Intrepid Chimp, Anson Garcia.
I love Tesla.
Ray
Broke my
Donovan
ass.
and Black Standard TV.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that.
Well, 0% off code with Tim50. Exactly. Every time we put up new merch on the store, it is on sale for about 3 days, and then TeePublic will also run sales of its own periodically. So we'll keep you apprised of any sales or whatnot. All right. So now that Mikey's gone, I have a rant that I would like to get to. And I was going to do this at the top, but then I learned Mikey had a timeline for today that he had to leave by, so I waited until now. So here's what we're going to do. I have a very specific message for a very specific person, and that person's name is Classic Codes. And I want to say that Classic Codes is a person who's been on the show once at least. And I was very nice to, for apparently the wrong reasons. This person is toxic to the core, and I just want to bring up some points to Classic about the things that he's very wrong about. And we're going to start with a little bit of Cody. And this will give you a little bit of primer for what I'm talking about.
Straight. Oh, yeah. Monster trucks. Wrestling. I'm with
Let's go back a
It's
little
meant to
bit.
impact the world around you. It's meant to be multiplied. That's the plan of God for you. We can change and impact the world because we serve the strong man, Jesus Christ. He says, I'll go with you. Behold, I'm with you always. I'm going to give you strength. Oh, yeah. Monster trucks. Wrestling. Fire. And Jesus.
Boy, as a man, that felt both insulting and chilling to watch. And while it's fun and easy to make fun of the many clips from these camps, this, of course, speaks to a larger problem happening right now. and honestly, before now, which is that men everywhere are struggling with their mental health as it relates to their gender identity. Nearly 3 out of 4 of every death of despair, as in a suicide or overdose, is committed by a man. I mean, look, we're all pretty bummed out right now, probably because of the Queen's death. I mean, she had so much life left
Fucking Cody, stop making jokes, man.
in her. But men, specifically young men, are even more bummed. While there was a 4% rise in suicides across the board, for young men, that rise was double. And that's probably in part due to men not seeking help nearly as often as anyone else. Here's a survey from Cleveland Clinic that found over 80% of men feel stressed, but also 65% of them feel hesitant to seek professional counseling.
Hey, I just want to say, before I get into some real yelly stuff, that if you're anyone, not just man, male, female, in between, whatever, and you're having a bad time mentally, you need help, go seek whatever help you can get, whether it's a therapist or supportive family members or friends, people who are supportive and non-toxic. Oh yeah, we're talking about the manosphere. You guys already get it. And Classic is a part of that shit. So we are going to tear that shit apart for like the next 30 minutes to an hour. But I just want to say, if you are not feeling great mentally, I see a therapist at least a couple of times a month just to check up on stuff, man, because everybody gets overwhelmed. If you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling depressed or whatever, there are plenty of support systems and ways to seek help. I just want to say that at the top of this before I start yelling about things.
Here's another survey of 1,001 adult males that found nearly 50% of them were, quote, more depressed than they admitted to the people in their lives. Here's an insurance survey where 1 in 4 men admitted that they've never talked to anybody about their mental health. You get the point. Insurance ghouls don't screw around with this stuff. But it's not just depression. Men are struggling socially too. They are lonely. I mean, I'm not. I have tons of friends who aren't puppets. Right, Friendulous? That's right, Cody. See?
So, Christy would like to know, who is this Classic? So Classic Codes is a podcaster, streamer. And he is sometimes a guest host on Cortez's show. And I don't want to I don't want to shit on Cortez's show or say disparaging things about Cortez's show, because it's not largely about Cortez. It's about his co-host. And his co-host kind of brings out the fucking worst in people. And yes, he is wrong on so many levels. And I'm not going to play clips of Cortez's show because, once again, I don't want to just like shit on Cortez's show. It's not my place, and Cortez is a friend and all that. However, Classic is not a friend. Classic Codes is not my friend. I do not care about being even remotely nice to Classic Codes because he's an asshole. So that's where this is going. I've seen too much of his bullshit on the internet, and I'm tired of it.
I'm not lonely. But for example, dating is far more difficult for men.
This is just sort of background on why the manosphere stuff exists, by the way. I didn't say that up front, but this is just background.
That's probably why they are having less sex than they used to. That and their living arrangements. Since the 60s, the rate of men living with their parents has steadily...
By the way, this is nothing that Classic Codes would ever bring up about why he talks about the things he talks about. But this is why he talks about the things he's talking about. He would never bring up this data or any of these sources because he doesn't fucking know how.
Gone up to the point that there are now more men living with their parents than living alone or with a partner or a roommate or like a quirky Mediterranean.
And McKinnon has been fighting the good fight for this the whole time. And McKinnon says he tried to explain that to Tez, and we disagree with Tez sometimes. But it's miles different with Classic. Classic has a horrible mentality towards women, and he's even a flat earther, which I'm not going after him for being a flat earther. It's funny, but I'm not going after him for that.
Ukrainian cousin, or two hot chicks, or a zany source of increasing sexual tension. For women, that rate of living with your parents is lower, but they are catching up, so good for them. We don't know exactly why men are struggling socially, but it's probably somewhat related to the fact that they aren't making enough money anymore. I mean, yeah, we're all hurting there, but men aren't going to college as much as they used to either. Their employment rate has either stagnated or gone down. And since 1979, men's average wages have fallen 10%, while women's wages have gone up 25%. Although I'm guessing that's in part because women were paid less than men and have to catch up. Because despite everything I just said, men still rule the world. It's still a patriarchy. Everything is still dominated by men. The richest and most powerful people are still men, just not most men. So we have a bit of a pickledilly, a dick pilly, a Seattle mess. Society is run by men and largely designed for men. But the majority of men don't feel like they are in charge of anything. And so their anxiety around that is uniquely related to their gender identity. That's why if you were to ask, let's say, certain men if there's a patriarchy or if women have problems worth considering, you'll probably get a response that strips all nuance and just gives a laundry list of various issues that men have.
And so I'm going to stop playing Cody for a minute here and address that. A lot of the bullshit that I hear from Classic is that specific issue. Is that there are a lot of issues surrounding men and men feeling, I guess, manly or whatever. And his reaction to this, the suicide rate among men, the fact that men aren't getting into college as much as they used to, or their wages aren't as high as they used to be, or any of this stuff. His answer to this is to blame women. And to say that the women are the problem. And he doesn't fucking live in reality. He doesn't want to own up to any sort of sociological problems that men may have. And he claims to be all about sociology and to have studied it or whatever, but he doesn't know a thing about it. He doesn't know the reasons. He hasn't done the research. He only brings up the issues and then blames one particular group for them. Right. And McKinnon says there are issues with men, and it's caused by other men. Men in power don't want other men to be successful. Those men want other men to make them money and stay in their lane. And as we're going to learn through the next however long this takes, the patriarchy is bad for men. But though nobody wants to admit that. And we're going to go through a whole list of fucking manosphere assholes whose talking points Classic uses verbatim all the time. The patriarchy is bad for both women and men. I am not one of the dudes at the top. The patriarchy is bad for me. The hierarchy that has been created is bad for me. I am not rich or powerful.
Like this.
Do you believe that we live in a patriarchy?
Oh man. Okay. All right. I forgot that this was in here. All right. We're going to play this like 10, 15 seconds. And this is going to expressly put out the point that I'm trying to make here.
Considering, you'll probably get a response that strips all nuance and just gives a laundry list of various issues that men have. Like this.
Do you believe that we live in a patriarchy and it negatively affects women?
No.
No.
Yeah. So, for example, men are more likely to commit suicide.
Yeah.
More likely to die at work. More likely to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Women are far less likely to be in credit card debt. Far more likely to graduate from college.
Yeah.
Far more likely to get a high-paying job.
You know how the left.
So, the former Charlie Kirk is talking about the same exact bullshit talking points that Classic is. And it's really ironic that it's Charlie Kirk making these points right now. Here's the problem, is that Charlie Kirk is going to blame women for those things. Not that men have anything to, he's not going to mention that men have anything to do with this. And it's all these fucking guys. I mean, it's not Charlie Kirk anymore because he can't. But it's Andrew Tate, it's Jordan Peterson, the whole fucking manosphere. All they want to do is blame women and say the patriarchy doesn't really exist, and women are just complaining, and women are wrong, and feminism is the reason for all these problems. And I just want to say you're fucking wrong. You're wrong from a societal point of view. You're wrong from a political point of view. You're wrong from a governmental point of view. And we'll get back to Cody, but I got a few other videos here to talk about. So
We turn now to growing.
And I just want to say, Classic, I come with fucking receipts, bro. So if you listen to this, if you've made it this far, just know that I'm putting out all the research that I found. I got sources and receipts, which is more than you have.
Concerns around the proliferation of misogyny online and its migration into real-world interactions, especially those involving young men.
And I'm gonna clip this part from the larger show and make it its own clip so that he can fucking watch it.
John Yang has this story about a Detroit teenager's experience and the broader implications of this trend.
Like many his age, Brian Campbell says he grew up an iPad kid, playing a lot of video games.
You about to lose anyway, it don't matter.
And when the COVID pandemic...
2 British pounds super chat from Allie. Need to have Witchy Goth on to talk about this. I would love to. And I will get in contact with Witchy Goth through Mikey to do that very thing.
Forced schools to shift to remote learning when he was 12, his primary connection with friends was online.
I would spend all my time on the internet. Either I'm playing the video game or on TikTok, or both. Fortnite, NBA 2K. If me and my friends get bored playing it for 10 hours, then we scroll on TikTok and send each other videos, and then we get...
McKinnon says, just so you're prepared, Tim, even though we recognize that men are causing problems for other men, Classic would just say, who raised those men? Women. He functions with cult thinking. Well, that's the manosphere. That's the manosphere. And that we're going to listen. I have a series of videos here that's going to help us get through all of this. And Classic is one of those people who has fucking circular logic. You'll never get out of that trap. McKinnon is 100% right. He will blame women for everything all the time. I realize that that's kind of skewed in the vertical. What's better? That's better. There we go. That's better. I was trying to... I was off center in the vertical. And I was like, how do I fix that? No, I fixed it.
Get back to playing the game.
Eventually, content with a specific perspective started showing up on Campbell's feeds.
It is so easy to become a top-tier male in the world today because the competition is so ridiculously low.
Topics masqueraded as informational kind of male improvement. I think a lot of these people have lived more life. They're rich, they're nice car, all that. Like what society says is the ideal.
And I also want to say, I am not shitting on self-improvement. Self-improvement is human actualization. It's what we strive for as individuals and as a society. The kind of improvement that the manosphere preaches is toxic. It treats women badly. It treats men badly. It's not seeing people as equals. It's creating this faux hierarchy of people. Oh, we're going to talk about Andrew Tate too. But sociologically, which is where Classic likes to think he comes from, this is fake. This is a fake hierarchy. This is a fake view of society through a very skewed lens. And the people that are getting picked up by this are impressionable and, for the most part, vulnerable men who don't see another way out and have to be reformed after they dive into this fucking cult.
Ill for a young man.
The message appealed to Campbell, and the more he engaged with it, the more he saw. Campbell had found himself in the heart of what's known as the manosphere. The term broadly refers to online communities that create and share content aimed at men and boys. But there's growing concern about the ideas behind that content. Misogynistic, often conspiratorial beliefs about gender roles and masculinity. And thanks to a handful of key influencers...
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of these fuckers right here. Is this better? No, that's not better. Is this better? That's not better. Well, that's pretty good. We're going to talk about some of these fuckers, specifically Tate and Peterson. They're some of the worst ones. I know someone mentioned in the chat Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's a pretty bad one too. Like the Daily Wire is pretty up there for manosphere bullshit. But I think Ben is, his power has waned recently, and he's not nearly as toxic as some of these individuals. Like Ben has his own form of toxic masculinity, and it's not Andrew Tate.
The manosphere's reach has exploded. In an attempt to quantify that growth, researchers in Dublin set up accounts on multiple social media apps, posing as teenage boys. Last year, they reported that in less than half an hour, every one of the accounts was fed manosphere content, whether they sought it out or not.
In the post-Me Too movement, we've seen this surge of online misogyny in particular.
Cynthia Miller Idris is the founder of the Polarization and Extremism Research and Innovation Lab at American University.
Polarization and extremism are perfect names for what the manosphere creates. You're polarizing a certain group of men, and you're creating extremist behavior.
Her book, Man Up, The New Misogyny and the Rise of Violent Extremism, will be published in the fall.
They land on an influencer who's offering them often very tangible and real help that makes a difference, right? Like get 8 hours of sleep and drink water and get to the gym. And they package that with scapegoating of women or treatment of women
And that's exactly like the insidious behavior that the manosphere does. It's like, okay, there is self-improvement stuff, and they're like, get 8 hours of sleep, go to the gym, drink water, be generally healthy, like eat the right foods and all that shit. But then they're like, also, women are the reason for all problems, and women are bad because they're sexually active or whatever. That's the whole thing. Is you get someone in with a message that is self-improvement, and then slowly you introduce the extremist behavior. And going back to classic, that's exactly the shit that he's fucking talking about all the time. He'll lead in with something that he thinks is a logical fucking idea, and then he'll go straight to, well, women are the problem. And he'll admit it. I'm not playing the clips on this show, but if you go back and you watch the episodes of Tez Down with Classic on them, and once again, I'm not blaming Cortez, but Classic will say that women are the problem. And if I need to play the clips later on future episodes just to prove to Classic that he has fucking said that, I will. But right now, we're just going through the topic.
Idea of success as being, dominant. And so, your life is improving while you're starting to believe this other stuff.
Women sell purity, men sell success.
This is seen as a more dominant position.
A woman wants sex more than the guy does.
The average woman will always cheat more than the average man.
That is a Classic Codes talking point, word for word.
Sort of content Campbell was seeing. Soon, he was echoing those ideas.
How women want to control us, and us as young men, we have to not be at the whim of women and stuff. I didn't really know what I was talking about, but it sounded good.
Campbell's dad Al and his older brother Brandon, who had fallen down similar rabbit holes when he was younger, noticed a change.
He started mentioning a lot of things typical of someone who believes that the world is against them, where you think that if you are not, I'll say in quotes, superior, then something's wrong. He was kind of taking on opinions that didn't sound like his own. They were opinions that I myself once had because I had gained them from someone else.
While Brian was seeing this material, were you aware of it?
I guess I didn't really pick up on it at first. Over time, you say a few things, it gets a little concerning, like, hey, my wife's going to clean up after me, being the alpha male and the this and the that, and the type of guy that's the strongest, the baddest, and everybody needs to bow down and respect you, but then you don't have to respect anybody else.
When it comes to behavior like this, there's really no excuse for it, but there may be an explanation for it.
Psychologist and author Lisa Damore specializes in adolescent development.
It's helpful to think about 12-year-old boys in broader context. Girls hit puberty before boys do. So what this means is that for 7th grade boys in general, The girls are often beating them at recess, and then they come into the classroom and the girls are often beating them in school. So if you are a 12 or 13-year-old boy and you have had a very rough day at school where a girl outran you at recess and then had all the right answers when you didn't understand what was happening in class, and you come home feeling pretty small and you hop online and there is somebody telling you, listen, guys are actually great and the thing that's holding us back are girls, that is pretty compelling.
Jamie, I want you to listen carefully.
Online radicalization and the manosphere are at the center of the Emmy-nominated Netflix miniseries Adolescence, the platform's most-watched show in the first half of the year, with 145 million views. It's a fictional account of how these influences lead a teenage boy to murder a female classmate.
It's a call to action by the manosphere. 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men.
Oh man, the 80-20 rule. Boy, guys, that's another fucking hole to fall down. By the way, that's a Jordan Peterson hole to fall down.
Trick them because you'll never get them in a normal way.
In real life, there's a growing number of examples of manosphere culture affecting interactions between boys and girls.
It's like little things like, oh, you should be back in the kitchen. And even though it's a
Oh, it is in part about incels. That is part of what's going on here.
joke, some people take it really far.
There are games that I've stopped playing because every single time I joined, I'd receive a rape threat.
Me and my former roommate were chased on campus by 2 different men saying that they were going to have a lot of fun with us that night.
Those kinds of things are have migrated from, online worlds into.
See, it's all you guys. All right. Anyone who watches Cortez's content, and specifically with Classic on it, right? You're going to realize that a lot of the talking points from the manosphere are the same. It's going to be the same stuff. That 80-20 stuff, it's called the Pareto rule. It's a Jordan Peterson ism. Basically 20% of something creates 80% of something else, right? Jordan Peterson calls it a natural law. It's a logical fallacy because those numbers actually don't correlate to each other. Saying that 20% of workers create 80% of the outcome of a specific job. It's not actually in nature and in human society, that often doesn't happen. It's not usually 80-20. So it's one of those weird manosphere / new wave management things that actually doesn't really exist. It only exists by accident sometimes.
Real life, sometimes in ways that boys are just trying to be provocative, sometimes in ways that are really dangerous stepping stones on the way to more harmful and violent content and behaviors.
Experts say the key to combating the spread of these ideas and preventing their worst effects is to engage with young men.
Don't start with a lecture. Start instead with a question. Ask, have you seen this? What is it like to see it? What do you think adults don't know about this that we should probably know? And how can I be helpful?
That's what happened to Brian Campbell in Detroit. Around Thanksgiving 2020, his older brother, home from college, sat him down for a long conversation.
So I wanted him to have a more, reflective idea of how he was engaging with others, how he viewed people, and how he interacted with them, less as ideas or groups of people, but as individuals.
Campbell says that talk helped pull him out of the manosphere. He still sees online videos pushing misogynistic views, but he says he's able to tune them out and click not interested.
A lot of it was reminding myself about people in my life, like my grandma, my mom, remembering that there are real life women in my life that I respect and love, and that there's more to it than what the internet shows.
This fall, Campbell will be a senior in high school. His summer is filled with internships and other programs. Now, when he hears friends make misogynistic comments, he tries to speak up. What I won't do, he says, is be complicit. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm John Yang in Detroit.
All right, so we got a bit of background on the manosphere here. I want to go back to the Cody video for a second.
Yes.
Do you believe?
And we're gonna skip ahead because and if you guys don't follow Some More News, go and subscribe to Some More News. It's hilarious, and they did a whole video, an hour-plus video on this very topic, and I'm just skimming parts because I think they're a good resource for it. But let's see, I got timestamps here, so
Yes. We have these conservative-leaning men who believe the generations-long propaganda about manliness, who also feel a resentment toward modern liberated women who have absolutely no interest in them. And so they lost for the better days when women were, to them, more tame. This is not exclusively right-wing, mind you. The internet has especially boosted nostalgia for pre-9/11 days. TV shows had 20 episodes a season. Mel Gibson wasn't a racist yet. We had malls and physical places to exist, and all the Gallagher we could ignore. And no one was struggling. I mean, that last one isn't true, but that's how a lot of people look at the past. And like, yeah, you were a kid. That's why you weren't struggling. Wow, I'm so nostalgic for the carefree days of when I was a literal child and didn't need to care for anything. Anyway, undoubtedly, things got economically worse in America. But the thing about nostalgia is that it makes a tremendously effective dog whistle, because this decades-long economic erosion just happened to take place the same time that minority populations were expanding their own rights. And so people like Tate and Peterson can point to these two things as if they are related. By lamenting the good old days, they are often implying that things were better because women had fewer rights, and that feminism is why things are worse now. It's just like how dummies like Elon Musk will look at crumbling infrastructure or shitty airline companies and blame DEI. And so this is why the manosphere is a pipeline to Nazi shit going.
Yes, the manosphere is a pipeline for Nazi shit. Classic, you fool. You've been preaching eugenics. You've been preaching eugenics. You idiot. You rube. And speaking of Nazi shit, hey, it's one of those guys.
The West is fundamentally best characterized as an oppressive patriarchy, which is absolutely absurd proposition, and that as a consequence, whatever actions they might take that are forthright and ambitious in terms of participating in that system are by the very nature of the system destructive. It's very difficult for me to understand how anybody can be properly motivated if that's the fundamental view of society and male participation in it. And I don't buy any of that. I think the idea that...
So Jordan Peterson says he doesn't buy the patriarchy because he doesn't believe that the patriarchy exists, and you cannot blame capitalism or the patriarchy for anything wrong in this world.
The West is fundamentally an oppressive patriarchy is an appalling idea, and the notion that the proper way to view history is as a battleground between ethnic identities or identities in general, or between men and women, it borders on the pathological. And so maybe it exceeds just merely bordering on the pathological.
The worst violence, can be the violence of the mind. And
This is some conservative Australian fuck.
I think men today in our society are told, from their young age to now, when they grow up, that they're doing the wrong thing, that they have done the wrong thing historically, that there's no place for them. And I think that's what Jordan speaks to a lot of young men. And look, I'm a father of 3 young boys under 5. And, reading a lot of Jordan Peterson's works through the book, I can understand why it resonates with a lot of people, because men today have lost their identity. And I think feminism has become a movement to overtake masculinity, and
I'm a feminist. I don't want that.
Well, sure.
I don't hate men. I'm not trying to destroy men. Alex, that's ridiculous.
Let's look at the empirical evidence.
And this is the fundamental issue that I think Classic and a lot of other manosphere assholes have, is that they think feminism is anti-men, when in reality, all of the different waves of feminism, first, second, and third wave feminism, were about equal rights between men and women. And we're going to watch a video about that in a moment, but I just want to put it across to fucking Classic that you're fucking wrong, bro. All right? Feminism isn't about destroying men. It's about equal rights for men and women. If you knew anything about sociology or political history, you would fucking know that. But you don't. So you want to blame feminism because you don't know what you're talking about.
So let's look at the imperial in our schools. It's boys who are falling behind now, actually, in primary schools. It's boys who are falling behind at universities. It's young men who are suffering and have the worst mental impacts. It's the highest rates of youth suicide. You know, it's a serious issue. And I think, you know, the question is right. I mean, yes, there's a lot of disenfranchisement in the world, but there are movements persecuting men in today's world.
It's almost as though we're talking about a structural issue and you're talking about a personal issue. And people who take personally the idea that we need to change structures, I think are misreading what the complaint is that people have. And so
they are.
For me, the problem that I have with kind of structural rigidity of gender roles for men and women is that they hurt men and they hurt women. They hurt both.
Exactly.
They hurt the men who want to stay home longer with their kids.
The structural, institutional gender roles in our society, the patriarchy hurts men and women. If you are not a man who is powerful or wealthy or at the top of the hierarchy, you're just as screwed as the women are. But they don't understand that. Classic doesn't understand that. He doesn't want to blame other men for his problems. He wants to blame women for his problems. But the patriarchy is destructive for everyone. It's a hierarchy. That's the whole point.
They hurt men in real physical ways because we do have a problem in this country where women are more likely to be the victims of violence at home. Men are more likely to be the victims of violence in public. But in both, the common factor is it's men committing the violence by and large, not exclusively, but by and large. And so these rigid kind of ideas of masculinity hurt everyone. And so when we talk about feminism, when we talk about changing those structures, it's to create an equality for the benefit of everyone and to get rid of some of the things that hold everyone back.
The fundamental truth we need to grasp here is that men are not oppressed because they're men. Men will be oppressed in their lives for all kinds of different reasons. They might be oppressed because they're working class. They might be oppressed because of their ethnicity or their religion or their age or their sexuality or their ability status. But at no point in human history have all men been judged, oppressed, disenfranchised, kicked out of institutions on behalf of their maleness. That just has not happened. What has happened in the West is that we developed democracy, and democracy actually meant the enfranchisement of all of us. It means the conversations about what society looks like, what manners are, what behaviour is, what courtesy looks like has changed because it's not one group making that decision anymore. And I understand that that's a difficult transition for people who've grown up with narratives where those decisions and those institutions belong to a very narrow demographic of people, which, by the way, never included all men. That it's difficult to get your heads around a new way of behaving and engaging. But it's necessary because we are actually a community. We are one society. We all have an equal right to participate. And taking bait from internet misogynists on the oppression of men is not a conversation that I get into. I've been on the internet too long to fall for it. Men are not oppressed as a general group. And my sympathy to any man who does feel oppression in any other part of his life.
The point Van made is very difficult to argue with in the sense that if we'll start on a level playing field, it's no coincidence that women have only been largely voting and participating in democracy in Australia in the 20th century. Now, is that a total lack of intelligence, capacity or fairness? Or I don't know. It strikes me that you only have to look at most of those metrics to realise that the empowerment of women, the emergence of women from life beyond child rearing, and this is not to derogate child rearing at all. It's a foundational, vital foundational institution. But as women's horizons have expanded in a finite number of opportunities, some men have lost out, especially with as we've automated the expansion of technology that has removed a huge amount of emphasis on traditional masculine attributes of physical strength and so on. The workplace has changed. It's a fluid, dynamic environment. Men are feeling threatened by this. And there is a sense that some men are translating it as they're losing.
What I tell people consistently is that they have to look to themselves. And it's not because I believe that people are in full control of their lives. You know, we're all subject to bad breaks and sometimes to terrible luck, but your best bet is to do what you can to take care of yourself properly, to treat yourself like you're someone responsible for helping, which is rule 2, by the way. Partly because I do believe in this ancient, fundamentally Western idea that people are of intrinsic value. I mean, look, we're all given the sovereign right to organize our own states, the responsibility to vote. Our state, our very state assumes that you have the wisdom to keep the ship of state sailing straight. And it's because there's something about you that, at least in principle, has the possibility of being remarkable if it can be manifested. And I'm reminding people that not only do we believe that, but that it seems to be true. And it isn't obvious.
Someone in the chat mentioned 56% divorce rate, and I would like to challenge that assumption because I do happen to teach sociology. And this is the divorce rate over time per capita. So you can see that the divorce rate is about 2.2 per 1,000 people in the population. And that's very much down from what it was in the early to mid 80s. The divorce rate is actually much lower than it has been over time. So I think your stats are a little skewed there. Just want to point that out there for you and for fucking Classic, because I'm sure he didn't fucking know that. Back to the video.
Anyone, or there has been anyone for the last 4 or 5 decades, let's say, who's done a credible job of drawing a relationship between the meaning in life that you need to sustain you and responsibility. And not just for you, because it's not an individualistic idea. It's responsibility for you and your family
Coming up to
and your community. That'll do the trick. And your broader society.
The bigger issue is looking at disenfranchisement. People aren't disenfranchised. If you're being sold that it's feminism, a movement for equality that's never thrown a bomb, that's never picked up a gun, that's disenfranchising you, or globalism or socialism. We have not lived in socialist economies in the West in a very long time. It's been 4 decades of neoliberalism, and it's neoliberalism which has smashed communities. It's neoliberalism which has made consumption and material acquisition dominant values in society. It's neoliberalism that has destroyed the workplace and made jobs insecure and made our experience of economy so unstable. If people are feeling disenfranchised, if men feel disenfranchised, please let me reassure you that women feel disenfranchised as well, because we are all living in this destabilised economy and we are all suffering from that kind of consumer ideology.
I think it's a lazy term, identity politics. All politics is identity politics. Parties campaign on identity. It's whether they say we're a party of individual freedom.
All right, so we get Jordan Peterson over here. He's all about there is no patriarchy and the West is not a patriarchy and blah, 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 and feminism is the problem.
Why is gender even?
Well, this is something that I teach my students in our sociology classes. So here's a little video on gender theory. Enjoy.
A thing. We've talked about what gender is and how it affects people's lives, but we've skipped over a fundamental part of the whole issue of gender. Why does it matter to us so much?
I don't normally do this, but ban this motherfucker from the chat right now. Jordan Peterson is one of the brightest persons walking this earth today. The dude is one of the dumbest motherfuckers there is. Yeah. Not particularly. Anyone that thinks Jordan Peterson is a sane, rational human being needs to get out of my chat right now. Mods, make that happen. I ain't Mikey Famine. I'm not going to play that game.
much. Gender isn't the same in all cultures. Mainstream Western ideas have focused on the idea of gender as a binary, with masculinity and femininity serving as mutual opposites. But other cultures have 3 genders, or see gender as fluid, or describe gender as a spectrum rather than a set of distinct types. For example, many Native American and First Nation peoples recognize a 3rd gender that incorporates both the masculine and the feminine, and it plays a specific sacred role within their culture. While different tribes all have different terms for this gender within their own languages, nowadays many use the umbrella term two-spirit. But there are no known societies that have no concept of gender. So why is that? Why do we, no matter what society we live in, ascribe so much meaning?
Oh, by the way, classic. Hey, this is what sociology is. You might gender, you dumb fuck.
To gender and social
That's a good little
conflict theory. All 3 of these theories have different perspectives on why gender exists. Let's start with structural functionalism. Remember, the structural functional approach understands human behavior as part of systems that help keep society organized and functioning. From this perspective, gender is a means.
I'm kind of hoping that saying his name enough will summon him. He's not going to be on the show because I don't want to give him a platform, but he can be in the chat. I don't care about that. He can yell at me all he wants in the chat because I do it to him. So, it's, fair play. But he's, he'll learn a thing or two.
Of organizing society into distinct roles that complement each other. Some anthropologists have argued that hunter-gatherer societies originated the idea that men are providers and women take care of the home. Men were physically stronger and didn't have the demands of childbearing, which made it easier for them to take on more aggressive, autonomous roles like hunting or warfare. And these roles became institutionalized.
Oh, did I say the wrong word? Did I say ban? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Who cares about that guy, right? Right?
Even once physical strength was no longer important for many jobs, it was taken for granted that men would be the breadwinners and women would care for the children. But there are holes in this theory, namely that the early anthropologists who studied this dynamic overemphasized the role of things like big game hunting. More recent anthropological work suggests that gathering, fishing, and small game hunting, all of which were also performed by women, played a much larger role in providing food in these societies. But the idea that we have 2 genders to play complementary roles has stuck around, partially through the work of sociologist Talcott Parsons. He argued that boys and girls are socialized to take on traits that are complementary to each other, to make it easier to maintain stable, productive family units. Boys are taught what Parsons calls instrumental qualities, such as confidence and competitiveness, that prepare them for the labor force. Meanwhile, girls are taught expressive qualities, such as empathy and sensitivity.
There's no politics in this, bro. Or ma'am. This is sociology, not political science. Sorry.
Which prepare them to care for their families. Parsons' theory was that a successful family needs people to have complementary skill sets, and gender gives us a way of pairing off these skills. And society, in turn, encourages gender conformity by making people feel that they have to fit these molds if they want to be romantically desirable, and by also teaching people to reject.
We're talking about the theories of gender. We're not talking about the politics of it. We're talking about different sociological perspectives of gender. This has nothing to do with the politics of gender or American politics or anything like that. We're just talking about the actual social science of society.
Those who go against these gender norms. Though this theory was influential in the mid-20th century, it's fallen out of favor for a few reasons. First, Parsons was basing his theory on a division of labor that was specific to middle-class white America in the 1940s and 50s. It assumes a heteronormative and Western perspective on what a family is, but not all families are nuclear units with one man, one woman, and a gaggle of children. When you expand the definition of family to include same-sex couples, single parents, multi-generational families, or childless adults, it's less obvious that you should assume that a man works outside the home and a woman works inside the home. Second, the idea of complementary genders rests on there being 2 distinct and opposite genders. Again, a Western perspective. The idea of gender as a binary isn't universal, and it ignores all those whose identities don't conform to a 2-gender system.
I know, this is going to hurt some MAGA brain. This isn't political. We're not talking about political science. We're talking about what is taught in like Sociology 101, basically. This is Sociology 101, the study of society and the structures of society, human-created structures. So, for this video, we are leaving the politics out. This is just talking about different societies' theories on gender.
Third, Parsons' theory ignores the personal and social costs of maintaining rigid gender roles. Critics argue that the idea that men need to be the ones working outside the home to maintain family stability is arbitrary, and it reinforces gender dynamics that give men power over women. Now, another perspective on gender is the symbolic interaction approach. While structural functionalists are concerned with how gender helps all of society work well, symbolic interactionists are more focused on how gender is part of day-to-day life. From this perspective, gender is something that a person does, rather than something that's either innate or imposed by institutions. Let's go to the thought bubble to talk about different ways that people do gender. Clothes, hairstyles, and makeup all telegraph gender to the people around you. Take these two people. You probably have a gut reaction about the gender of these people, even though the only thing that's different about them is what they're wearing. But what if the person in the suit had long hair or was wearing makeup? These might flip a switch in our brain to start seeing this person as a woman in a business suit. But having short hair and no makeup while wearing a dress doesn't necessarily flip the same switch. This pattern is an example of gender roles, or how a society defines how women and men should think and behave. A man wearing a skirt is seen as more of a rejection of traditional gender roles than a woman wearing pants is. Body language and how people interact with each other are also part of how people do gender. Women are socialized to be deferential in conversation, meaning that they're more likely to make eye contact to show that they're listening, or to smile as a way of encouraging their speaking partner. Crossing your legs is called ladylike, whereas if you sit on the subway with your legs spread out, you might get glared at for manspreading. Thanks, Thought Bubble. These exercises in doing gender are good examples of how our society's definitions of masculinity and femininity are inextricably linked to each gender's power in society. Masculine traits are associated with power, taking up more space, directing the conversation, and are often valued more than feminine.
Chrissy, go tell that to a Scottish man in a kilt.
Feminine traits. In other words, everyday social interaction reflects and helps reinforce gender stratification. But a limitation of the symbolic interaction approach is that it focuses on the micro rather than the macro. Because of its focus on situational experiences, it misses the broader patterns of gender inequality. For that, we need social conflict theory. You might remember gender conflict theory from our episode about Harriet Martineau, but in case you've forgotten, gender conflict theory argues that gender is a structural system that distributes power and privilege to some and disadvantage to others.
So in sociology, conflict theory is generally an idea where the structural system distributes power and privilege to some people over others, and it creates sort of the hierarchy. And there's a gender conflict theory, there's a class conflict theory, there's a race conflict theory. You know, basically any way that people can discriminate against other people, there's a conflict theory for it. And a structural system or institutional system that distributes power and privilege to some over others. So, hey, classic, I bet you didn't fucking know that.
Specifically, that structural system is the patriarchy, a form of social organization in which men have more power and dominate other genders. We can see examples of this structure in institutional practices that disadvantage women, like restricting higher education to men or refusing to allow women to vote. But we also see this in less official ways. Think about the traits that our society values. Rationality is often praised as a desirable way of thinking, especially in leaders, while irrationality means letting emotion affect decisions and is seen as a weakness. Women are stereotyped as more emotional and men as more rational, which makes people falsely see men as more natural fits for leadership positions. The way that patriarchy privileges certain people over others also isn't as simple as saying that all men are at the top of the power distribution. This is why there's more attention paid in sociology to intersectionality, or the analysis of the interplay of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, and other identities, which often results in multiple dimensions of disadvantage.
So I also want to point out intersectionality as something that Classic Codes doesn't fucking know about because he doesn't know anything about sociology, and he doesn't know anything about how all these different aspects of society can interlock and create systems of oppression and distributing power and privilege. He doesn't care. All he cares about is that he thinks that women are the problem, and that none of this other stuff, race, class, or sexual orientation, really plays into any of it. It's all, for him, it's gender.
While all women are disadvantaged by gender, it's also true that some women experience more disadvantage than others. And the converse is true for men. All men benefit from living in a society that privileges masculinity, but some men benefit more than others. To see this in action, let's go back to the stats on the gender wage gap that we talked about in the last episode. White women make 80 cents for every dollar a white man makes. Black women make 65 cents for every dollar a white man makes. If we divide those two numbers, we get the wage gap between white women and black women. A black woman makes 81 cents for every dollar that a white woman makes. But what about black men? Well, they make 73 cents for every dollar that white men make. So black women do worse economically than black men, who do worse than white women, who do worse than white men. Just looking at gender or just looking at race misses the way that disadvantages can stack on top of one another. Our understanding of social conflict theory also would not be complete without discussing a movement closely entwined with gender conflict theory: feminism. Feminism is the support of social equality.
All right, now we're going to get to the part about feminism where we actually learn what feminism is and not the bullshit that some people talk about.
For all genders, in opposition to patriarchy and sexism. Broadly speaking, feminism advocates the elimination of gender stratification, expanding the choices that women, men, and other genders are allowed to make, ending gender-based violence, and promoting sexual freedom. There are many forms that feminism can take, but let's highlight three major schools of thought within feminist theory. The first is liberal feminism, and no, I don't mean liberal in the political sense, I mean liberal in the classical sense, rooted in the ideals of freedom of choice and equal opportunity. Liberal feminists seek to expand the rights and opportunities of women by removing cultural and legal barriers to women's equality, like implementing policies that prevent discrimination in the workforce or improve reproductive freedom. This contrasts with socialist feminism, which views capitalism as the foundation of the patriarchy and advocates for full economic equality in the socialist tradition. Socialist feminists tend to believe that the liberal feminist reforms don't go far enough since they maintain most of the existing institutions of power. The third feminist school of thought is known as radical feminism, which believes that to reach gender equality, society must actually eliminate gender as we know it. Radical feminism has clashed heavily with other subsets of feminism, particularly on transgender individuals' rights. Many radical feminists refuse to acknowledge the gender identities of trans women and have accused the transgender movement of perpetuating patriarchal gender norms. And these three ways of thinking about feminism are only a few of the many views on how best to advocate for gender equality. Kind of like how there are many theories within sociology about how we should think about gender. Today we learn.
So that's a little primer on gender roles and feminism for the uninitiated, like classic codes. And I promise we're almost at the end of this. I got one more bit from some more news that's going to explain exactly what classic is talking about.
And so if these Daily Wire freakazoids are the reasonable, moderating vanguard of taking back masculinity, it's no surprise that a lot of the most popular figures in the space are very often just toxic weirdos themselves. And in at least one case, an indicted sex
I gotta go
trafficker,
back a minute. I
family
missed
law,
something.
and so
Here we go.
are speaking broadly and vaguely and incorrectly about it in order to confuse the issue. Exercise is fine. It's actually good for you. Go outside, work out, stay hydrated, eat well, fall into wells, find pirate treasure, get good sleep, stick to a solid routine, develop good habits. This is all fine. It's not man stuff. It's person stuff. It's all recommended.
And I think that's one of the points, right? It's not just man stuff. It's just be a healthy person. Be a healthy person. That's all it is. It's fine to be fit. It's fine to eat healthy. It's fine to get enough sleep. Not enough of us do it. It's fine to seek help. Not enough of us do it. But it's not about like, you got to do that to be a man. You got to do that to be a person. It's crazy to think that only men should be doing that.
By most people, regardless of ideology. But there are elements of this, a certain viewpoint and perspective about these kinds of things that can lead to, yes, some Nazi stuff. Or at the very least, just general women hating. In fact, the idea of a toxic pickup artist is almost quaint now. A bunch of MIT researchers actually looked at the manosphere and found 4 distinct groups. Quote, men's rights activists claim that family law and social institutions discriminate against men. Men going their own way take this feeling of grievance further, arguing that society can't be amended. They often avoid women, blaming them for their problems.
And hold on. There we go. That's classic. That's classic codes. I mean, in a paragraph. 100%. That's it.
Can't be amended. They often avoid women, blaming them for their problems. Pickup artists, meanwhile, date and harass women. They believe society is feminizing men. And then there are the incels, the most potentially violent of the group. Incels abide by the black pill, a belief that women use their sexual power to dominate men socially. For that, incels want revenge.
Where have I had that line? Where have I heard that line of thinking before? Oh, is it classic codes? It fucking is. In fact, I'm pretty sure he said that verbatim. McKinnon would know. I'm pretty sure he said that verbatim. To me, at least once.
You can sort of see how each of these manosphere types can melt into the other, and why it's so closely tied to white supremacy as well. And this all starts with these self-help grifters. Jordan Peterson isn't overtly a Nazi, but he's the first step in that direction. We actually made a quick explainer about that guy. If you want to check that out, and just take a few minutes of your time.
That is a 3-hour video about Jordan Peterson.
Ultimately, it's an extreme.
Oh, Wishaza says classic hits all 3 sets. Sure, yeah. I'm not going to say no.
Extremely enticing pitch to tell young men that all of their problems aren't actually their fault, and then point to leftists and women and Marxists as the enemy inflicting these hardships upon them. They don't need to change, you see. It's the world that's wrong. Skinner meme. No, the other one. Or take your pick, I guess. Of course, the problem is that the world isn't going to change for you, despite what the masterpiece ladyballers might want you to believe. And so resentment isn't a useful tool. There's nothing helpful in it. These people are basically saying, hey, young men, I can help you if you listen to me. And then their help is to just get mad at women. It's like offering swimming lessons and then spending the entire class complaining about the ocean. And of course, the beauty of stuff like this is, as you get madder and madder, you're still going to need to tune into those god-awful swimming lessons. And like, hey, all you men out there, if you want to endure hardships and be strong, then maybe you need to endure the fact that women are not subservient drones and learn how to actually communicate with them. Maybe it's actually manly to adapt. Where do you think your Y chromosome came from? And so when you think about the resilient futility of this manosphere message, the only use it has is to frustrate and indoctrinate young men.
And like that's the whole point for this fucking manosphere nonsense, is to just indoctrinate people into this line of thinking, which is completely backwards and not the way that society is going. It's not. It's not from a political perspective, and it's not from a sociological perspective. All right, we've at this point covered a lot of material, and we've learned that the patriarchy does in fact exist, and it also harms men because not everyone can be at the top. And all of this alpha male bullshit is just that. It doesn't exist. There's no science to back it up. Any of those alpha wolf studies were not backed up by science. It's really crazy that people get in this mindset of, oh, alpha betas and whatever. I don't even know the terminology that well. But putting men into a hierarchy like that is what they want you to do. It's what they want. They want you to put yourselves in a fucking tier list. They want you to do that so that they can oppress you for it. If you're not an alpha, you're not what, the top 20% of men that top 80% of women look for, or whatever the fucking stupid statistic is. It's nonsense. It really is. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not a fucking alpha or whatever, but I have a wife. And I'll tell you what else, she makes way more money than I do. And I am 100% fine with it. It does not emasculate me at all. In fact, it's quite fun. Yeah, McKinnon says, the Bezos, the Gateses of the world love seeing men in gyms doing the heavy lifting for them. It makes them richer. And once again, not saying don't get fit. Just realize how that comes across. But incel motherfuckers, like classic codes, you know, think it's great to fucking pay the daddy tax, essentially. Tuzamai says 80% of women are looking for Mikey famine. Yeah, and that alpha male shit does really put women off. I had my wife listen to some of that, and she's like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, I don't understand it. I really don't. And it crosses like cultures too, man. It's really pervasive and insidious.
They want you to be bitter and isolated, so you keep following them. It's a grift.
Yeah, they want you to be that way. It's a grift.
And a tool for extreme. You to be bitter and isolated, so you keep following them. It's a grift and a tool for extreme.
Codes, you're grifting, man. You're fucking grifting. I said it in your chat. You're fucking grifting, bro. You're a grifter. Just like Andrew Tate, just like Jordan Peterson, just like Ben Shapiro. You say the exact fucking same things they do. You're trying to fucking grift people, bro. And you don't know anything about anything. And I don't want to continually go off on a guy because it makes me sound crazy. But I've heard enough of it. And it's the same shit all the time. You don't back up your shit with anything. At all. Whenever you say shit and I say, oh, fucking cite your shit. Put your sources up. I don't get anything. I just get because you told me so. Or I get, it's because I'm white, I don't understand. Motherfucker, I have so many degrees in social sciences. I have so much knowledge on this content area that you don't have, and you refuse to listen about the basics of it. That you have a very ethnocentric view of the world based on your own experience, and you refuse to expand upon anything else. You refuse to learn about the real world. It's ridiculous. Wishaza said, Classic Codes has drunk his own special Kool-Aid. That's what it is, man. And he claims to know sociology, but doesn't know a goddamn thing about it. You learned more about sociology in that 10-minute video than he knows at all.
At the very least, it's a way to sell you crap.
Read a fucking textbook, Classic. Then you'd probably fucking know something.
For some, that's the main goal. Like, you know how a lot of freaks, but specifically the freaks of the Daily Wire, will be like, razors are woke now, buy our anti-woke razors. And they're really bad, and it's just a waste of everybody's time and money, and also it's stupid. Well, they're doing it with vitamins now. And they have a man vitamin from a new Daily Wire company called Emerson, which is just more vitamin slop. We all love our vitamin slop, obviously. But now they're ass deep in the vitamin slop game, and they're selling these pills that are no joke, literally and specifically for making your brain go good, smarter, and manly, and for making your cum nice and hearty and thick and powerful. The Daily Wire's man brain jizz vitamins is where we're at with this. And that's like the quaint version of the manosphere. And so if these Daily Wire freakazoids are the reasonable, moderating vanguard of taking back masculinity, it's no surprise that a lot of the most popular figures in the space are very often just toxic weirdos themselves. And in at least one case, an indicted sex trafficker hiding in Romania. This is almost a different video, but it's unreal how post-Trump internet cultism has made overt criminals like Andrew Tate able to not only maintain their fandom after doing terrible things, but actually use it to boost their publicity. On paper, there's no logical reason to look to a dull-eyed accused rapist for advice on how to be a better man. It's beyond parody. His most recent of several arrests happened because his idiot friend / bottom feeder punching bag revealed on...
All right. We got one more video, and we're going to watch a few minutes about Andrew Tate. And then I'm going to close with a positive Cody segment, and then we're going to get out of here.
Now, the BBC has questioned the controversial social media influencer Andrew Tate.
This is a BBC interview with Andrew Tate from 2 years ago. So this is after he got arrested the first time.
Tate is under house arrest and being investigated by Romanian prosecutors for accusations including
A
rape,
wild interview,
human
by the way.
trafficking, and exploiting women, which he denies. The BBC challenged him on whether his views about women broadcast to his millions of online followers harmed young people, as many teachers and police officers claim. Well, the interview, which had no set conditions, was Tate's first since being released into house arrest from police custody last month. Lucy Williamson reports now from Bucharest.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have.
Let's
It's all of it, man. It's all of it.
start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for money?
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using
Is he
emotional
mocking her?
manipulation
Is he trying to do an accent to mock her?
to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence
What an
against me and you
asshole.
haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely and utterly, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system. And I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Let me read you then what you have said about what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
That's exactly what you said on your website.
No, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
It is something he said, by the way. You can fucking look it up on any of his videos, really. He says it all the goddamn time. In fact, I think the Cody video has him saying that.
And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for.
And in fact, in all fairness, let's see. Let's try and get Andrew Tate to rebut himself. Where's Andrew Tate? Here we go.
Successful lifestyle, possibly get paid to people you'll get. And that's a very difficult.
What's the solution? What's the solution?
Yeah. Is very similar to the answers you'll get from him.
Give us a solution. What's the solution?
Yeah, I think the solution comes back down to family values, and that's a very difficult question to answer because it's across the entire spectrum, right? It's hard, and I still think one of the easiest ways to do that is God. I think if you bring back some degree of morality and some degree of standard to both sexes, I think things will start to get better. You talk about the 1950s, another thing that was different. In the 1950s, parents raised their kids. Who raises kids nowadays? School.
Just three manly, smart guys on a channel called Valuetainment, smoking cigars that they love, being like, schools, the Matrix.
Well, I think that's
definitely no indoctrination in 1950s schools, by the way. But and then spending the entire class complaining about the ocean. And of course, the beauty of stuff like this is, as you get madder and madder, you're still going to need to tune into those god-awful swimming lessons. And like, hey, all you men out there.
Oh no, it's actually not Tate.
It's
This guy. I don't know who this guy is.
Insecurities and bigotries that they've made everyone.
Get ready to hear exactly what Classic Code says all the fucking time.
Everyone else's problem. Well,
like I said before, why the hell are you going to pay full price for a goddamn car that's been used? What women don't understand is men don't ask for much, okay? If I'm going to take you seriously as a girlfriend and or a wife, my only real request is that you don't embarrass me and fuck other guys, okay? But they have the fucking gall to sit here and say, yeah, insecure. No, you dumb bitch. I'm not fucking insecure. I'm very secure in my goddamn confidence. I don't want to fuck your wife up no hoe. All right? And I'm tired of women out here telling dudes, small dick energy, you're insecure, da, 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 da.
Yeah. Nothing insecure about that clip.
So that's not Andrew Tate. I want to correct myself and say that's not Andrew Tate. Self-correcting over here. But that guy says exactly what Classic Code says all the fucking time. And anyone who listens to Classic Codes, that's exactly the shit he says all the fucking time. I'm very secure, he said calmly. So that's we'll go back to Tate because I want to get another minute out of that, but then we'll probably be close to done because I'm close to done. I'm
Now,
almost
the BBC
yelling
has
about it.
questioned the
I had to get this out of my
But you
system.
haven't done Rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
That's exactly what you said on your website.
No, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
In your words.
And again, once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. I'm actually such a nice person that
The
I've never had
BBC has
anyone come at
spoken
me.
to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those things, that with you, it's all manipulation. There's an ulterior
Is this
motive
Sophie?
to everything
Is
you
this
do.
Sophie? Oh, it's Sophie, the fake name, no face. No
I
one,
was so
the
intent
story that
on
was
wanting to
invented.
please him and wanting him to be happy that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what does she
That's
accuse? Has she
coercion.
accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the questions.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as Legacy Media, giving
Listen
you
to
relevance
this
by speaking to you.
motherfucker.
And I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The BBC did not invent
Of
her.
course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is
We're
she saying?
talking about emotional manipulation
Has she-
into the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human
Sophie hasn't gone to
trafficking.
court. Sophie doesn't
And
exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length.
Sophie doesn't exist.
And other media organizations about
Listen to this fucking denial. This dude lives in denial.
what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you
He did go to Romanian prison for a while.
your own words where you describe
They're not my words.
coercion
They're words
and
you
emotional
found.
They are
manipulation.
his words.
Found on the internet, and Sophie doesn't exist.
On your
so let's move on to the
website,
next
in
subject.
your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick
He doesn't want to answer the question because he knows he's fucking wrong. And this guy, all he does is preach violence against women and
for
toxic
increasing levels
masculinity.
of misogyny. Schools that are saying they are having increased incidents of girls being attacked, of female teachers being harassed
If that was
by
true,
pupils
if that-
because of you and your teaching
Well, that's
and your
absolute-
influence.
That's absolute garbage. I have never, ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete. I preach anti-drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against.
But
I'm
men and
teaching young men.
boys-
I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and some emotional control and stoic, we're going to have
Oh,
a
yeah,
better
he's got a lot
society,
of
not a worse
emotional
society.
control.
To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof.
See, and this is fucking Trump shit too, man. He's on the Trump fucking train too. And when he came back to America, Trump didn't even fucking want him. He has the same exact positions as far-right conservatives, and he has the same exact positions as white nationalists. He is a liar. Anyway, we're gonna move on to something a bit more positive. The final bit of the showdy here. What's the timestamp for this one? 103.
And so, you know what? How about we talk about that?
So I am officially done ranting about Classic. Oh, hey, Classic, he's in the fucking chat. Great, buddy. Hey, go back and listen to the last hour. You'll learn something. Here is the complete opposite of Classic.
How about I, Cody J. Johnston III, actually give some raw, unfiltered advice to young men who feel lost,
Don't
or
ban him
insecure,
either. Leave
or
him in
don't
the
know
chat. I
what
want
it
him to
means
fucking
be a
hear
good
this.
man. Let's make it a segment. Cody gives it raw. You know, I blame myself there. I set that upon myself. I take full responsibility. So what does it mean to be a good man? Broadly speaking, it's not really different from being a good person. In fact, at the top of this, I'd say the number one piece of advice about how to be a good man is to realize that there is no definition of what a man is. A man is whatever you want it to be. You feel the way you feel. Heck, maybe you don't feel particularly masculine. That's fine. You can be a good feminine man. Be who you are and let other people accept that. If you do that with confidence, then people will respond to it. Of course, when young men and boys flock to the manosphere, they are doing so because they are depressed.
See, this is the exact fucking toxic bullshit that you're on, Classic. Fucking get over yourself, bro. And this is my show and you're not coming on it. I don't want to talk to you. So you can yell in my chat all you want. The mods do not ban him, do not do anything, don't time him out. But you're not coming on my show, bro. I don't give a shit about what you say.
Or resentful, or have trouble fitting in, or want a romantic partner, usually a female. I don't know, maybe there's a whole other toxic manosphere for LGBTQ people, but typically we're talking about cis men looking.
And why don't you shut up and listen for a bit? You might learn something.
To meet women. And so the quickest way for a young man to learn how to speak to women is actually pretty simple on paper. It doesn't involve paying for a weekend seminar or buying a copy of the game. Are you ready? If you want to know how to speak to women, you should become friends with women. And not friends in quotation marks, not women that you want to sleep with or date, but actual friends with women who you hang out with and talk to and play video games and do crimes and watch movies with. If you are a young boy or high schooler or adult man and you don't have friends who are women, then you need to make an effort. Even if you don't succeed immediately, even if you're awkward and weird, the goal is important. Be friends with a human woman that you like as a person. I think a lot of men have trouble approaching women. And
Classic, I see you fucking crying in the chat, man. Get over yourself, bro. Get over yourself. I don't give a shit about you, bro.
Resent that men are traditionally expected to be the one to make the first move. I personally agree that this is bullshit. The idea that a woman has to be chased or approached is exactly why we have.
Well, I guess that's not true. I do care that you're like a toxic motherfucker. So I've done an entire episode or the last hour of this show about how toxic and wrong you are. So I do care about that.
Toxic pickup artist types and all these guys who are resentful when that chasing actually chases the woman away. And don't get me wrong, there are men and women who do prefer that dynamic. Like when I said earlier not to approach a woman in the gym, that's the safe assumption, but it really depends on the vibes of the situation. But it takes time to pick up on those vibes. It takes advice from other women. It takes knowing how to talk to a woman. So when you just start genuinely talking to women with no agenda or hopes, then you will slowly find yourself more comfortable. It's like a job interview. We're all nervous in a job interview because we want something. But if you went and interviewed for a job you had no intention of getting, you'd be way less nervous. So just talk to women the way you'd talk to a dude. Like if they have a shirt of a band you like or share with you, engage with them on those interests. Don't challenge her on whether she really likes the band you both like. Just be friends with them. Learn about what their lives are like. Share your feelings and anxieties. If you're close enough friends with them, you can even ask them for advice on how to date women. They probably have good advice for you. And just keep trying to make friends, not just with women, but anyone. If you see someone who's struggling to fit in, approach them. Ask them about themselves. Make friends. Build a group of friends, both men and women. And if someone is an asshole or treats you poorly, stop being friends with them, even if they are popular or cool. One moment.
Oh.
Sorry.
A bit.
Hey there. You're here to do what? Is it yours? Oh, that's great. Age to start having relationships. You can be 15 or 50. There's this fear that, quote, all the good ones will be gone when you're older. But that's not true. In fact, it's even less true today. And that's because of something you also need to accept, which is that the world just isn't as prosperous as it was for everyone. If someone tells you that as a man, you should be successful or provide for a woman or a family, and if you're struggling to do so, you're a failure, that person is either stupid or a liar. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to be a victim. It happens. Sometimes bad things happen and there's nothing we can do. To quote one of the best fictional examples of manhood,
it is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose.
Yes.
That is not a weakness.
Jean-Luc Picard.
That is life.
The spaceman is right. Honestly, if you ever need advice on how to be a good man or a good person, a good life hack is to just think about what a Star Trek captain would do. Picard is friends with women. He tries to better himself with a hobby, but accepts that he's not the best at it. He's not really a father figure, though, but that's why we have Captain Benjamin Sisko to show us what it means to be a loving father. Sisko is also friends with women, and even women with worms in them. He's not afraid to show emotion or explore spirituality. He helps people, even if those people aren't nice to him. And look, yes, he did a few war crimes, but come on.
He did do a few war crimes.
Come on, you know? Come on. So just like, do what these guys do. Accept the war crime part. Picard also turned into a robot and did a genocide, actually. Damn. Defund Starfleet. And speaking of war crimes, there's a big difference between feeling shame for the past and current crimes of men and acknowledging them. If someone explicitly tells you that you should be ashamed to be a man, they're not a good person. But similarly, if someone tells you that everyone else is telling you to be ashamed for being a man, that person isn't good either. And it's probably a grifter. Pointing out the fact that men and male-centric culture has traditionally been toxic towards women, as well as for other men, is not shaming you. Pointing out that macho culture has been largely anti-LGBTQ or often tied to racism, again, isn't shaming you. It's okay to like macho stuff, to watch old 90s and 80s action films, pro wrestling, sports, to gaze into the eyes of Robert Mitchum and feel the hairs on your balls grow a little bit more. But you can do those things and also acknowledge the problematic elements contained within them. And you can draw your own lines in terms of what is and isn't acceptable to enjoy. But just know that other people have their own lines, and you need to respect those lines. Part of being secure and strong is acknowledging that our heroes and interests are flawed and working to rectify that and include people in it. That's a strength. Taking responsibility for our mistakes is a strength. Because, to be frank, sometimes we are the problem. Even Jordan Peterson seems to know that.
Okay, so you're a young man, and all the women are rejecting you. Who's got the problem? It's not all the women. That's
Right. Wow, Jordan Peterson knew that? That's fucking crazy. He knew that? Because all those other guys would be like, oh no, it's women who are the problem. Like Classic would be like, oh, it's women who are the problem, right? That's what they would say. Well, at least Jordan Peterson in this one instance understands that women aren't always the problem.
bad road to go down. If all the women are rejecting you, it's you.
We both agree on this.
And I'm sorry, but we of course have to contrast this admission with the following clip of professional terrible guesser and manosphere bottom feeder Tim Pool, who claims to want to use like skateboarding and video games as a way to influence youth culture instead of talking about politics, which he incidentally still does every single day of his life. Anyway, let's get some insight into why he thinks that he specifically is single.
You know what the problem is, though? It's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's everybody else.
Yeah.
Oof.
And there we go. Here we go. Classic, this is you.
That he specifically is single.
You know what the problem is, though? It's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's everybody else.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof.
If you
oof indeed. Oof indeed. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I've ranted for an hour. I think it's out of my system now. Classic, it's been a real displeasure. And I really don't care what you think, so I'm not going to put any of your chats up. I just want you to know, go back and watch the last. I'm going to put it up as its own clip. You can watch the whole thing. You don't know shit about sociology at all. Nor do you understand how women operate at all, I guess. And your constant misogyny and your manosphere behavior is fucking eugenics, bro. You're preaching eugenics. You're preaching Nazi shit. So enjoy that. Enjoy the show. Like and subscribe. $10 super chat from Kay right before I get out of here. I disagree with a lot of what Classic says on his channel, but it's kind of bullshit to just write him off as a grifter. If Tez is cool with him, that's enough at least to assume good faith. Kay, I respectfully disagree, but thanks for the super chat. Classic, you are a fucking grifter. Good night. Don't forget to drink your meat.